Hello, 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 hello. Hope you guys can hear me. Hope everyone's having a wonderful, whatever time of day it is where you are, a wonderful day nonetheless. Gonna fade the music down just a little bit. Alright, so now we should have a little bit of music. Hello, Victory Leo. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is early night. I've just gotten back from running around doing a million things, so my apologies. Retro Gaming Star 25, what's up, Retro Room? How are you doing? So far, man, hope you're having a great night because tonight's video game night, and I'm so excited. Every night's video game night in the House of Retro. No, I'm just messing around. No, I'm having a really good day. Just everything's kind of been a little busy. Not bad, but busy. If you've attended any of the previous streams, of the past few streams, you probably noticed that I have my normal pixel backdrop in this case. It looks like we finally got things figured out, so I am running a stream that is a little multi-purpose today. Purpose number one is to test out and make sure that my Streamlabs is working again. I was working off of original OBS prior, which is fine. Not my cup of tea. Not my preference. I shouldn't say cup of tea. It's fine. So I'm really enjoying having Streamlabs back because now I have my Stream Deck effectively can work with it, which is nice. Because Streamlabs has a cell phone Stream Deck, and I had to build one for OBS. I'll still be using OBS a little later. The other reason that I'm doing this stream, let me step back a little bit more comfortably. 1 second. Okay, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I just kind of moved to a little bit more of a comfortable position. Okay, there we go. Is because Resvergam is in here. Thank you so much for showing up, Resvergam. It's so good to see everybody. I mean, everybody's showing up. It's so kind of you guys. I did this off the cuff, and I'll explain my thought process there if that's okay, but let's see. I was going to stream some games after my run tonight, but this is much better. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys for being here. So what I'm going to do is, the other reason I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and I'll move it over. I don't think it's any surprise. You guys saw the thumbnail, so you kind of know what's going on here. The Elgato Stream Deck I've been using is a lifesaver. Sounds great on this, and thank you so very much. So I actually use the Stream Deck off of the phone that Streamlabs comes with if you have the Prime. I think if you don't have Prime, it still does. I haven't purchased an actual Stream Deck. I've actually had. I use a Novation Launch Pro Mini, and I just macro that to be a Stream Deck since it can do almost everything else that I needed. Almost everything I needed to do. So, but let me go ahead and move things over so you guys can see. I believe it should be boop, that button right there moves us over. And then you guys should be hearing, hopefully, some overworld music for Donkey Kong Country 3. There we go. Okay, so for anybody who is curious, I'm doing this somewhat as a promotional event as well. Of course, if you don't want to, this is not a paid promotion type thing. This is just a promotion for people that are involved. But this weekend, this Sunday specifically, and I believe it is, I don't know what the time zones are for everywhere, but I believe it's going to be at, and this may change, but I think it's set to be at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if that's a different time zone for you, please let me know. If you have trouble with the calculation. I know that if you're in the East Coast, California, where a lot of the people are, it's going to be 2 hours prior, so that'd be 1 o'clock, and then of course if you're on the opposites, if you're on the East Coast, it'd be 1 hour later, so 4 p.m., and if you're on the West Coast, it would be 2 hours prior, so 1. There will be a speedrunning community collab event, so for anybody who did happen to make it to the previous one, Running Retro and the Thumb Brothers did a fun speedrunning event, hosted by EC Myers Vids, who did a wonderful job getting everything set up, and I was graciously asked if I would host this next one, and I said absolutely. I really liked the idea, and they said, okay, well, that's what we want to do. So I said, can I promote it? Can I talk about it? And they said, well, we're fine with that as long as, things can change. I said, okay, let's see. Sorry, not chatting. Busy on Metal Gear Acid mission seeking on the PSP for a mission. I need it. No worries. 9 p.m. here. Okay, all right. Perfect. No, yeah, no worries, but I just appreciate you for showing up. So no worries at all. And good luck on that too, by the way. The Metal Gear games are fun, but some of them I find very difficult. I don't know if I really put a lot of time into Acid though. I probably should. But so anyway, yeah. So I've been asked to host that event, and I'm hoping to do so. A little bit of commentary. They're not going to be doing no death runs. It's not going to be any sort of. It's nothing like that. It's strictly a race, trying to get from the beginning to the end of the game as quickly as possible. They're going to do 3 rounds of it, and they've got some rules, some different rules and conditions. Of course, I'm going to speak with them before the event and make sure I get it all settled before I go ahead and convey those. But yeah, so if everybody's good to go and ready to do that, it says we should do a collab video sometimes because it'd be awesome, my man. Hey, yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I've been up to my neck in collab videos, and I'm so honored to be a part of a lot of those. So Thumb Brothers and Running Retro have asked me to host this event. I'm going to be trying to give it my best sportscaster / MLG kind of spin, and make sure I'm talking about these guys who are infinitely more skilled than I am. And then I have a collab coming up with, I guess we all know about Omega. We should, if we don't already. Omega's got this Castlevania thing going on, which is a collab. And I've been working with him on that. Viddy, of course, has his showcase, which is coming up as well. I've just finished sending almost everything to him. I've got one more thing I've got to send him for that. So it's just been crazy. But I'm super happy and super honored to be a part of these projects. So no complaints, just it's been busy. So what I wanted to do, in my case, it's nowhere near what they're doing, or it's not the speed running thing, but what I wanted to do is just kind of marathon for a minute. And I say marathon, I understand for me it's late, so I'm going to try it. But DKC3 is one of my absolute favorite games when it comes to the Super Nintendo. In the 90s, I bought the original DKC, and for whatever reason, I could not get it to work on the SNES. It kept giving us this error screen saying it couldn't do it. So, took it back, ended up finding a really cheap copy. Gonna do a Howard Cosell impression. Probably not, but I'll try. I'm not good at Howard Cosell for darn sure. What was the other guy? Shoot, I wish I had a good John Madden. I love John Madden's voice. My opinion, he's got such a great and unique voice. It's so fun. But so anyway, the idea of this is I'm going to try. There's no timer on this. There's no big thing. It's just me trying to go through this game quickly and effectively as I possibly can, or go through these levels as quickly and effectively as I possibly can. Some of them I'm going to cheese a little bit, some of them I'm not. It's just fun. It's something I'm doing for fun in the vein of that. So DKC, because of the 90s fiasco, DKC3 became the game I became most familiar with. I love it. For anybody who's curious about this game and hasn't played it, I did do a thing on the channel before, which was, I think it's 5 videos long. Each video is about an hour, between an hour and 2 hours. And I believe I did 100. I was going for 105%, but I successfully got 103. 105% works much the same way, but it just, you take out some of the halfway barrels. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea there. So let's give the retro store $29.99 DKC3 loose. Yeah, it definitely. I mean, I when I bought it, it was like 96 or 97, and it was new at that time. But it was happened to have someone who couldn't figure out how to get past the second world boss, and because of that. By the way, I'm doing each level. I know I'm not doing this perfectly fast speed running. I'm trying to do each level fast, just so I can interact with you guys, because my chat is on a different screen. It's a great game. It's a great game. I happened to buy it for $5 from that. We happened to buy it for $5 from that guy because of the. He couldn't figure out how to get past the second boss. He was so frustrated. It was just like, look, let's get this out of here. So it ended up being $5. But granted, that was, that's almost 20 over 20 years ago. Which is a beautiful thing about this game, in my opinion. I was asked a question on Twitter from a reviewer. I'm not sure who exactly was. I'll have to go back and look at the comment. He's not necessarily a big reviewer that I'm, like, oh yeah, I got interviewed by GameSpot or any of that. Nothing like that. But and I'm not trying to belittle him either. it's not one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I know automatically. He asked me what would my rating be of this game, because he gave it like a 7.5, which of course I disagree with. I give it an 8.5. 2's the favorite for most people because both Kongs are fun to play as, but at the same time, But at the same time, it's really disappointing because, despite the fact that both Kongs are, both Kongs are fun to play as, they also made some levels that are in worlds that are not really good. And then the first one, Donkey's the worst Kong to play as, and it's his own game series. Yeah, you got to be Japanese to do a good Howard Cosell impression. Well, I mean, I'll take your word for that one. Let's see this real quick. One time, once at a local video game store, I saw all the Donkey Kong Country games on the Game Boy Advance for $5. That's pretty great. I do have all the handheld versions as well. I'm nowhere near as good with those, but I come across those piece at a time. Reservoir Game says that's a steal. I love that you jumped on that. Yeah, like I said, it was like 1997, 6 or 7. So I love DKC 1, 2, and 3. I've only owned DKC 1 and 2. Yeah, So welcome, by the way, Thumb. Sorry I didn't catch that earlier, but thanks so much for popping in and saying hi. I know you've been uber busy too of late, so. DKC, yeah. So the thing with DKC 1 is, like I said, you're playing as Donkey Kong in a game called Donkey Kong Country. He's the worst character. He's just not very fun to play as, in my opinion. And then 2 is great in terms of the characters, but the levels are awful. And in this one, even though Kitty's a little clunky, he's got this water bounce. He's actually faster in this level than Dixie is, because of the roll. But because we just messed that up, another way you can get the bonus barrel. I'm just gonna lose her. Maybe not. But yeah, the thing I had about this game is that every level has a kind of a fresh gimmick that's really fun. Aquatic Ambience, DKC2, Sticker Brush Symphony. My favorite BGMs, absolutely. I agree with you on 1. 2, for 2, even though I really like Sticker Brush Symphony, I would say Flight of the Zinger for me. Let go, Dixie. Flight of the Zinger for me is, I like it a little bit better. It's got a little it's a little edgier and a little more, how do I say it? There's a sense of tension I really like. There we go. But I agree, Sticker Brush Symphony is amazing, so I don't mean to diminish that at all. I find myself gravitating towards Flight of the Zinger much more frequently, but yeah. And there's, of course, some great remix albums of each. And then for this one, that's fine. As long as I don't get the bonus barrel. There we go. Yeah, so in the previous video, the one I did beforehand, it was, like I said, it's how to do 103%. So if anyone's interested in doing this game, I do put it up there. Maybe this could be a future collab down the line. I'd love it to be. I'd love this to be a collab. This would be amazing. And I hope you'll forgive me. If anything's changed, I haven't heard word yet. So I did kind of promote the event. The upcoming event. I'm not a fan of Murky Melt. It's not very conducive to going fast. Hidden gem for DKC 1 would be Fear Factory, and DKC 2. I love In a Snowbound Land and the remix Frosty Fruits and the Tropical Freeze. Yeah. So Tropical Freeze music is so good. The intro movie cutscene, the music that's going on during that, which is a variation of Homecoming Hijinks, I love. And then, of course, they did a really great remix of another one that I really love in DKC 2, which is, what is it? I can't think of Lockjaw. Something Lockjaw. I can't think of it right now. I can't remember what it is. It's a remix of Lockjaw's something, or Lockjaw's Lock. I can't remember what it is. But it's such a good. It's the underwater theme or it's the one where you're doing the underwater stuff in the second one. Video games for fun is here. Me Fever is too. Let's see. Hold on. What's it? Me Fever is too much money. Can't buy me love. Okay. All right. I see. That's funny. Apparently, the composers had to credit all sorts of engineering hacks to make these BGMs. Had to create, excuse me, all sorts of engineering hacks to make these BGMs for DNC games. The SNES actually can't handle these BGMs. The carts had extra chips. Tropical Freeze is insanely good. It absolutely is. Yeah, so David Wise actually sat down. I'm going to see if I can do something really quickly with this chat, and it may not work. But if it does, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Let's see. Can I... What do you know? It didn't work at all. Okay. It doesn't seem to want to do it. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. So amazing how Rare went crazy beyond to make 3 awesome DKC games for the SNES. Just speechless. Well, and at this time, in my opinion, Rare was just going crazy. And I'm saying, you know, yet again, this could be completely wrong. 96 is when the 64 came out. So at that time, I mean, Rare were gods amongst the, you know, men in the video game world, so to speak, because this is very close to the time where they were doing Donkey Kong. They did Donkey Kong Country. They did Donkey Kong Country 64, which came out. They did Perfect Dark. They did Killer Instinct. They had, what was the other? What were some other ones? Perfect Dark already. Banjo-Kazooie, obviously. Jet Force Gemini. You know, they were just killing it. Just a Josh passing through. Hey, Josh. Really appreciate you for popping in and saying hi. Thank you so very much. Dun, dun. Okay, Thumb says, oh, love this track. I don't know where, if yours, so mine real time was showing me in Wrinkly's Cave and it was playing Super Mario 64, but this was just before the 64 came out. It was actually playing the Super Mario 64 theme just there, but it does it in a little kind of, the SNESy way. According to, yeah, by the way, to Resvigam, who said, who was making mention of that, yeah, there's actually a great video on YouTube. I forgot this when I go down. There's actually a great video on YouTube that has a kind of an interesting show of how David Wise did break down the tracks to do aquatic ambience and stuff like that. It's actually super I had to slow down there. It's actually super interesting. Because apparently what it was is he literally went through and just did everything kind of by hand, essentially. I could have done it, but it wouldn't have been worth it. There aren't, speaking of speedrunners in this case, there aren't very many, there aren't very many speedrunners of this game. The biggest one that I know is Morks, who's really good at it. He's a French speedrunner. Very, very good at it. This Mario 64 music. Yeah, absolutely. No, I understand that. There's a guy who does some good stuff with DKC music. I'd love to hear it. I don't know what happened here. Hold on. No, I don't want to do that. There we go. Yeah, I would love to hear it. I really like a lot of the mixes. I've heard some of the remixes. Okay, I don't remember where the wind barrel is on this. The speed, obviously, for people who are doing speedy strats, go that way. And stuff like that, speedrun stuff. There's actually, for every level for the first 2 worlds has one of those W barrels, but I don't know where all of them are. I only know where the ones to the stages I really don't like are. I say really don't like. They're good stages. They're so gimmicked in a way that you can't go any quicker than the stage wants you to. It's like auto scrolling but worse because the screen's not scrolling. Oh no, I do have to hit him. The other thing that's really frustrating, I say it's frustrating, it's not frustrating yet because I haven't done it, but can be really frustrating, is the son of a gun. Is that the son of a gun. If I miss a rat, a sneak they're called, if I miss one, then the door doesn't open. You have to go back and find the one you missed. We're fine. Son of a gun. Let's see. Didn't mean to pause it. I have, I don't know if this is a thing that other people do or not. I have, when I do thumbsticks, and I don't have thumbsticks on, obviously, this is a SNES controller, but when I have thumbsticks, I actually use the crook of my thumb, I notice, rather than my thumb tip to hit the buttons and to grab the thumbsticks. And so sometimes my thumbs are well overextended. They're extended well beyond where the button is. So sometimes I'll just hit another random button. I did that in an earlier, I think I did that in my Aladdin playthrough. Which was like 2 years ago or something, but I want to say I had done the same thing where I kept overextending and hitting start and pausing it, and not fun. No, that's alright. Okay. We'll just go down through everything. Alright. Yugoslav video game nerd, I just saw that you were here. Sorry, I'm trying to go through, I want to see if I can pass this whole game in a quick run. So I'm kind of going through it quick. It's not speedrun style, it's just me going through it as quick as I can. But I'm doing each level as I can and then taking the overworld out of it. So I know that's kind of a weird way to do it. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I am not skilled enough to actually speedrun yet, but I will learn. But so welcome into the chat, and thank you so much for being here. Thumb says, I like the approach you're doing with this game. Thank you. You're not going to NDR, not doing a timer, you're just playing the game to get a sense of time. That makes sense. Yeah, it's really fun. I'm probably gonna die for sure, but I hope it's fun to watch, and like I said, I like hanging out with you guys as well, so I really appreciate you for doing the same and feeling free, being willing to hang out with me. There we go. Couldn't say it right. Sadly, I don't know that this conversion got canceled. Hold on one second, let me do something really quickly. This might make things a little easier for me. Does it make it easier for me? No, it doesn't really. Let's try it. I'm going to try something really quickly just to make things a smidge easier for me, if I can. So if you guys will forgive me for just a second. Okay, I think that'll make things a little bit easier on me. Maybe, we'll see. I'll try. So I'm gonna catch up real quick. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Sadly, I didn't know that the convention got canceled, and I went to the area and found out about it. But I got Mega Man Legends 2 and Shatterhand. Ooh, fantastic! Shatterhand actually commands a pretty good price, which is awesome. This track here sounds more like David Weiss, while Techno Electric more the other composer. Yeah, Elena Fisher, I think her name was. She did a really good job, though. I think she did a great job. Let's see. Steam Summer Sale is in full effect in my wallet, and now my wallet is 2D. That's a wonderful way to refer to your wallet. If you don't mind, I may use that phrase. Of course, if I charge any money, I would give you that. But I'm just saying, I hope I can use that phrase again. I was gonna say, if I ever charge any money to use a phrase, I'll give you the money. But there's a phrase I normally use to say that, and I said it just all kinds of muddled because everything's weird right now. So sorry about the awkwardity of that. GOG has been doing it for me, and GOG's giving free games too. If anybody has GOG, Good Old Games, or Good Old Games, GOG.com, they're giving away free games right now. Shadowrun Trilogy is actually free right now, and I know that they gave away another free game before. They're actually giving some pretty nice stuff away, so if you get a chance, drop over there and just make an account and get a free game. I mean, it's the same guys that made The Witcher and Cyberpunk and all that, but they've been running the site for a while. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, so if I don't want to, bore you with that, but It's not my wallet, it's my backlog. I thought of getting Mario Golf, but my backlog and Showcase are taking over. Absolutely, I understand that. I want to get the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, but I want a physical copy of it. And so it's the same situation. I've got so much stuff going on. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. Let me take a... let me jump into one more game just because I had one more level just because I had it, and then I'll catch up some more. I'm so sorry. I took a break to make my chat easier to read. That was what I was doing. Is my chat is on a wall on my right, so I can't really look at it while I'm playing the game, and which is it's not an awful thing necessarily. It's actually faster not to be parrot here. So. And anyway, basically it's easier for me to have the chat screen in front of me, so I just moved a screen in front of me with the chat on it. I do not like this. There we go. These little guys I like. They're called NID. I only learned that I mean they tell you they have the I liked it when they used to do the and Nintendo games. Quite a few did that. I feel like quite a few did that. I know DKC3 did and Super Mario World did, where they give the like enemy roll call, the NPC roll call, all that good stuff. I always thought that was kind of cool. These guys are NID because the big bad boss is Eric, but it's Eric as in the beginning of the word arachnid. I didn't mean to do that. So now these two and these little guys are friendlies, and then the big guy's not. I do understand though why this would be tricky. I know I want to say it was Brady from the Super Mega Retro dudes. I think they did the open game request thing, and I think I had asked him if he would be interested in playing this, and I think he played it and had some trouble. And so what I'm getting at is not that me passing it or doing anything with it's good, but rather that I can understand where it's not the most intuitive game. I think actually also AVGN, goodness sakes, did James and Mike Monday with this, and it was like he had trouble figuring it out. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get caught up here a little bit if I can do it quickly. Mario Golf for the Switch. Hope it's somewhat like Hot Shots Golf or Mario Golf in 64. I hope so too, but I just think $60 for what is essentially the same thing with some different courses, maybe different characters, is a little expensive. I wasn't a fan of Mario Golf for 3DS. I didn't think I played that one. Eternal Blue for PS1 is still there, but I got Mega Man Legends 2 instead. Oh, and Castlevania Chronicles, Suikoden 2, and Silent Hill. That's pretty awesome. I do actually have Castlevania Chronicles, Mega Man Legends 2. I have to think of what that is, whether I have it. I do have the Suikoden games. I do like those. And Silent Hill, yes. Great choices there. Played through the GameCube golf game and had a blast. I agree. What is it? Toadstool Tour. Ugh. I can't speak tonight, and I'm so sorry about that, guys. If my being tongue-tangled is unpleasant, I apologize. I've heard mixed things about Mario Golf for the Switch. It seems lacking in content, so maybe it's best to wait for an update. A similar thing is Tennis Aces on the Switch. There's only so many ways. It seems weird that Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Can be so different, and yet the other franchises, typically the sports franchises, are not. In my opinion, the last majorly original one was their Mario Sports Mix that they put out on the Wii, which I actually quite enjoyed. Mario Golf, LOL, we play that one golf game from The Simpsons. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking to play Hot Shots Golf for PS1 this summer. That sounds awesome. I think I have Hot Shots Golf, but I think I have maybe it's not what I'm thinking of. It's not that version. It's a version of Hot Shots Golf, but I think it's for the GameCube. How about Neo Turf Masters? Best golf game in my opinion. I like Neo Turf Masters for the Neo Geo. I like it honestly quite a bit, but at the same time, it's just because it really I'll say what gets to me at Neo Turf Masters is I love the saxophone music that they play. It's this jazzy beat, and then they have these really rotoscoped, like very well animated characters. So yeah, I do like that. I'd play that game a ton back in the day. Yeah. Oh, I better see if Disco Elysium is still on a GOG sale. I've not played it and I want to. Okay, fantastic. I need to go look at that. One of the channels I watch, Geeks of Rage, did a playthrough of the Switch golf game today. Looked okay, not sure about the content quantity, though. Yeah, same situation. If it's $60, it's a little expensive, I think. I'm not more into Just regular golf makes sense. Yes. Which system are you playing DKC on? Retro? Not sure if you said. This is SNES. I'm actually playing. So I'll be completely transparent in this case. I have it on SNES, both a Japanese copy and a NTSC North American copy. This I'm playing it. I'm not playing this on the SNES. I actually own the digital version of this also through the eShop. I owned it through or got it through the eShop. So I'm using a SNES controller with the Wii wand so that I have a wireless setup for it. So I should clarify that. I do play on the original SNES a lot, but I did this one just because right now because I've been working on so many things, shipping stuff off. I have so many wires running around the room that it seemed really and I'm tripping over them that I didn't want to run the risk of damaging my save games and my cart and my SNESs, because obviously my SNESs at this point are 30 years old. My SNES is almost 30 years old, so my SNES actually has Batman and Robin in it still because I didn't mess with it yet. I know the Wii U has the DKC games, which I downloaded as well. Yeah, so yet again, I used the SNES controller with it, but I am using the eShop version this time, so my apologies. Oh yeah, I've played the DKC on the Wii system, yeah, and Switch, okay. I haven't played it on Switch yet. I do have a way to actually pair my Super Nintendo controller to my Switch, so I could have done it that way, but I opted not to just because this was faster. I should have done that, though. I have an 8-bit dough. $24 to have 1, 2, and 3 isn't that bad. Absolutely. Oh yeah, it's on the Switch as well. Yep. Yeah, that's true. We did emulate the SNES very well, but not NES, as NES is very grainy on the Wii U. It can be. There is, in my opinion, there is an app called Wii Mednafin that runs on Wii and Wii U, and it actually runs NES very well, and it has some customizing filters to make it a lot more pleasant to look at. But I agree with you as the default goes, as their default went. But if you have a modded Wii or Wii U, I do highly recommend Wii Mednafin to play the games that you've already purchased on there, or however you feel about that. Or $9.99 to play SNES online. Yeah. Well, I thought it was $4.99. And maybe I'm misunderstanding that. I felt bad about Ninja Gaiden 2. Sorry. Let's take a look. Question about NES Minis. Yeah, the Minis are awesome. The Sega Mini is my absolute favorite of them so far, but I'm really wanting a TG16 Mini. So I'm so sorry. I'm catching up. I'm almost there. Golden Tee on MAME with the trackball is amazing. A coworker found a corpse in the woods once. Another hit Bigfoot and screamed. That's kind of insane. I didn't know that could happen. Golden Tee is amazing, though. That's actually one of my wife's favorite arcade games, and she's not even a golfer. I might think about getting a Secret Scout for NES. Very nice. Very, very nice. I do have the original NG2 on NES, but tough for me to record footage for that. Fair enough. If I said Ninja Gaiden 1, would be easier to get footage. My NES isn't currently working at the moment. I'm sorry to hear that. Top loaders are the way to go, in my opinion, but my goodness, if they are not getting expensive, about $80 around here for a cheap, not in good shape one. So I have 2 toasters, and then those are running into composite switches, and those composite switches run to an upscaler, and that upscaler runs into port 8 of my HDMI switch. I'm so sorry. I'm going to pause really quickly because I didn't finish. I didn't mean to hit the button. Let's see. Anyway, after a lot of Scribble games with those UK and stuff, I'm a bit tired and need lunch. So this was a quick drop-in. Bye, Retro, and everyone. Oh, it's all right. Viddy, thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I really appreciate it. All right, here we go. This is also this can be a little bit frustrating. And this was the on that James and Mike Monday that I was making mention of. This is the level that they were having trouble with, and it's actually because they didn't read the bananas, which I get why you wouldn't. It's not the most in-your-face thing. But those bananas tell you to use the shoulder buttons. Left sucks up water, and then right actually fires the water out. But they didn't read the buttons. They didn't actually read that you use the shoulder buttons there, or they didn't interpret it. Like in this case, Y, which sucks up things on land. So, like I said, I get why they wouldn't. So I'm definitely not mocking anybody who had trouble understanding the controls to this game, because I've been playing it since like 96 or 97, so I definitely have gotten familiar, but yeah, and so also in my 103 run, also in the 103 thing I did, that's all bonus barrels. It's also all of those DK coins. Since I'm not doing a fully completed, I'm just trying to get from point A to point B here. that's why I am... Nothing there. That's the bonus barrel down there. That's why I'm not picking those up right now. There's no... If you get all of them... if you get all of them and you're doing the whole 103 thing, then it gives you the gyrocopter, which is a vehicle. I think I know that the first probably 20 times I played this game, I never realized you could get the gyrocopter because I didn't know about 103, and then I did, and then I got it, and then it was cool. It does take you to places you couldn't go otherwise. You're not supposed to be able to do that. I didn't mean to do that. That way, you're supposed to suck it out from underneath the red one, the red bee there. There is a little bit of lag on this, and I will also say that this is the official one you buy from the eShop. But this latency does also exist in the actual... I'm a little surprised they didn't get rid of it, but this does actually exist in the actual cartridge. That same lag. Oh, this is actually much better to do with Dixie. Come on, Eric. This is this was the reason that he couldn't. This is the reason we got the cartridge for so cheap, and he couldn't figure out how to do the. He couldn't figure out how to do this, get this boss, and it isn't the most. I understand completely why this is not the easiest thing to see. Because I mean, how are you supposed to know that you're? Son of a gun, I missed it. How are you supposed to know you hit his chin instead of his legs, or, you know, the much more exposed pieces of him? Fastest way to do this one is what I did earlier, where I actually jumped through the center of him, because he won't do that little sequence there, but I missed it that second time. Alright, if you guys will forgive me, I'm going to take a quick sip. I have a Diet Dr. Pepper here. 2 worlds down. There are a total, excuse me, of 7 worlds. There's actually, well, I can't do this yet. I have to go get the, come on. Why is it not moving? There we go. I didn't think to go in the boat. I have to go get my other boat. This was another really cool thing, is on the first 2 games, they had the overworld. And the overworld was really just a way to go from one level to the other in kind of the same way you would with Super Mario World, which is fine. But I really liked how this one would... goodness. I really liked how this one had these little kind of mini quests. There's actually like hidden caves in here, and you get different boats, and they go over different areas. And there's actually 8 worlds. This one right down here is an 8th world. There's a secret to it. Which is cool. I'm gonna go to Cotton Top Cove first because I like it less than Mechanos. Oh, by the way, if anybody is familiar with my second channel, this is where the first word of that comes from. I really liked it, and I liked how it was spelled and all that good stuff. And when you do cards, it's called cheat at cards. It's called being a card mechanic. And I thought this was cool, so that's where the Mechanos comes from in cards. And then cards is just spelled with a K because why not? So yeah, it's this is one of my favorite games, so that's where I pulled that from. Yeah, but this has little things like those bear huts. You can actually go and talk to them. They all have little mini kind of side missions and such. And then you have I don't really need that, but okay. You have the different boats and like going and figuring those puzzles out. There's, like I said, hidden caves, which have essentially they're banana birds, but they're basically Simon Says games, and they're really fun. Well, I like Simon Says though, but if you like Simon Says, they're fun. And I'm not great at them. I get frustrated sometimes because there's a little bit more at stake, and obviously if someone's watching me play and I get frustrated because I'm like, oh, I didn't want them to see that. That's embarrassing, but it's okay. You guys have all been pretty darn awesome, so I feel like I can fail a few times and you guys aren't going to hopefully be too harsh about it. You haven't yet, at least. Go ahead and hit that star barrel. There we are. I guess another thing I'm doing, and I'm doing it kind of subconsciously, but I'm realizing this, I actually really like to play as Kitty, excuse me. He controls, I mean, he's got a bigger hitbox, So he definitely isn't the easiest one to play with because Dixie is smaller and she does... Something has to be a little bit more precise to hit her. But I am realizing I actually really like the flow of Kitty, which is not the same thing in Donkey Kong Country 1. I don't like the way Donkey feels. He just doesn't feel... He didn't feel good. It's very slow and brick-like. That may be heresy, also. Oops. I'm sure there's faster ways to do that right there, but I didn't do it. Retro Room, hey bud, hey! Oh, an Arcus Unofficial. Hey, welcome into my kind of impromptu stream, and welcome Brady. I hadn't gotten to talk to you in a while. So sorry, things have been incredibly busy here, so I do apologize, but thank you so much for stopping in. I've been into some of, by the way, I have been into some of Retro Ryan streams recently, but I wasn't in a position to comment while I was doing that, so I'm so sorry. If it happens that I can't tell him and he says something about it, please let him know it's, I didn't mean to do that. I've just been super busy, so I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully I'll be back on a more regular, being able to, you know, make sure I'm watching and commenting and not just lurking in the shadows there. Because late nights have been a little bit difficult these past couple of days. I say past couple of days, about the past 5 weeks. But I really appreciate you for stopping in. I shouldn't have. I messed up. I looked over to the side and I did a bad. Sorry about that. I also like that Kitty, son of a gun. There we go. I also like that Kitty can kill the enemies, like Donkey did in the first one, with the soldier crocs. But at the same time, happy Pizza Friday, and GL, thank you so very much, Arcus Unofficial. I really appreciate that. I didn't actually have pizza today, though. That's a good idea. I had chicken, but chicken is my favorite food. So at the same time, it was still good. It was very good. That's interesting too, because I like pizza, but I'm not. It's weird around here that there's not like. There's no, I'm sure there's places up there, and I say up there not knowing exactly where everybody's from, but I know that there are like hole-in-the-wall pizza joints in a lot of areas, and in our area it's really just kind of the big chains. It's alright. It's really just kind of the big chains like the Pizza Huts and the Papa John's and all that. Son of a gun. That's the first death. Oh well. I hit the star barrel, so we'll trek on. Boop. But anyway, so yeah, it's really just the big chain. So it's not difficult to necessarily get good, decent pizza, but it's difficult to get good and unique pizza. There used to be a place where I worked, because I worked about an hour away from where I lived. There used to be a place where I worked that was a neat little, like I said, I used the phrase hole in the wall, pizza joint. It was actually super good. Giddy up. It's really interesting. Speaking of Arcus, by the way, if I may, it's really interesting how, because I've been watching like GDQs, AGDQ, and SGDQ, and all that good stuff. I'm just gonna brute force. There we go. It's really interesting. Now reset the game. Yeah. No NDR here, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry. That's a bonus barrel. We're not doing that. We'll go ahead and get the G, though, because I didn't... Oh, no. There we go. It's really interesting what I was saying. It's really interesting how big Arcus got. Because when I was watching, like, GDQ and ADGQ and all that, I mean, you have all those speedrunners, and I never had heard of Arcus. And then Arcus pops up, and he just starts tearing through. Awesome guy to watch, though. Just awesome guy to watch. It's really fun. I'm super happy about the fact that he got big. He seems like a great guy, but it's just one of those things. You just never do know who's gonna be the big news on. He's super skilled. He's super skilled. Which is really awesome. All right, so here's Oh, is this creeping? I didn't read it. I think this is creeping clasps. I'm fairly certain. Doodle doodle. Yep. No big deal. Title trouble is kind of the... I'm going to say this, and this may not mean it. In my opinion, the fastest... In the original Mario, the fastest roll for me is 4-1. It just has a natural flow for me. I think that title trouble is probably my 4-1. And games that look... Or levels that look like title trouble, like this one, I start getting kind of confident that I am going to do great, and then I don't. So I'm going to try and stay as humble as I can. And screw up anyway, but I'll screw up humble. I'm just going to play that one safe, just guys. There we go. My favorite pizza comes from a Boston area, Papa Gino's. When I moved to California, I was horrified to see that they did, what they did to pizza out there. Not a fan of CPK. I have not ever had California pizza. I have had, well, so here's the thing. Do I have a PB? I don't. This is the first time I'm actually even trying to go through it fast, and I'm not even going through it. Like, I'm not. You'll notice I don't even have a timer or anything on. I'm just trying to, at this point, kind of get a sense of the time, and kind of see if I can even do it, because it is something I'd like to learn how to speedrun. The first step to speedrunning, I think, maybe I'm wrong too, but a more expert speedrunner would definitely be able to tell me better, is just getting a feel and making sure I know this game very well, but it's very different going fast than it is just playing the game. So trying to kind of see areas that I'm like, oh, okay, I could do better, and all that kind of good stuff. Also, if you're curious as to why I didn't get the, thank you for the kind words also. Oh, of course. Gosh dang it, I didn't mean to jump into the Ellie barrel. Absolutely. Uh-oh. Oh, I forget. No bonus. Son of a gun. I'm so used to trying to get bonus barrels that I'm screwing up big time. Oh, yeah, no, I appreciate it. My apologies if I'm not being presumptuous. Is this, I mean, I'm very curious. Do I have the pleasure of speaking to, directly or indirectly, the actual Arcus here? Because if that's the case, it is an absolute honor, be it by person or proxy. Because that's awesome. Don't play many SNES or much SNES games. Play Chrono Trigger. Very nice, very nice. Chrono Trigger is a great game. Chrono Trigger is, god dang, crumples. Okay, sorry about that. You only get one shot at the DK barrel on that one, by the way. SNES games. Okay, so Chrono Trigger. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chrono Trigger is a great game. It's definitely not a game I feel like is built for going fast. So people that can go fast in that game, I really have respect for. It's one of those. Obviously, it's one of those speed games where, and I say speed games. I shouldn't say that. It's one of those games where you see even the speed runs typically are like 3 or 4 hours, which is pretty epic. Oh, he's gonna get mad at me. He's gonna go ahead and bite me because I've not been paying attention to feeding him. Oh no, you don't. Oh, yeah, he did. All right, eat that. So the gimmick on this, I wouldn't be here normally as I stream 8 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, okay. Well, I really appreciate you for being here. I definitely do. I'd love to catch a stream though. I definitely would. Mission accomplished now for the rope bridge. Top man. That's good. Anybody who hasn't played this game, if you're curious, I do, like I said, yet again, I refer to it, and it's not meant to be a plug, it's meant to be a son of a gun. It is meant to be a, if somebody's looking for in-depth explanations, because I know I'm missing a lot of it, but if anyone's looking at the gimmicks of the levels, I do give a little bit more kind of a complete breakdown of what those are in the 103 how to pass 103 thing. In this case, this little guy's your friend, and if he eats the urchins, these guys, which are actually called lurchins, if he eats them, he gets sick. He has 4 stages, right? He has blue, purple, pink, red. Blue's happy, purple's fatigued, pink is angry, red is enemy. And if you feed him the lurchins, he goes down 1 stage, and if you feed him the cocos, he goes up 1 stage. If he gets down to the bottom stage, the red one, he bites he takes one of your kongs. So it's not easy to, because he always stays right behind you. It's not very easy to steer him and also try to navigate the level. There's a point in time where you're at a certain piece and you just start going like I am, and he's... If the sprite's off screen, if he started eating it while it was on screen, it counts, but otherwise it does not. My goodness. Let's see here. Okay, I'm so sorry. DS version of Chrono Trigger is good. Has bonus content the SNES didn't have. Yeah, I know. That is weird that they do stuff like that. Bully did the same thing, and I know Bully's a much newer game, but Bully did the same thing for the Wii. Ironically, has content that the other consoles don't. I did my Arcathon I can't say it. Arcathlon. Goodness. This week. That is awesome. I would be excited to see that. Glad I own Chrono Trigger DS. Now runs 79. Yeah, absolutely. I do want to test out the stream version of... I'm going to go ahead and let him do his thing. I'm so sorry, I missed that. Let me do this real quick. I do want to test out the stream version of CT. Oh, very cool. I'm curious. So I'm really curious as to how does it stack up to son of a gun. How does Chrono Trigger PS1 stack up to DS, stack up to SNES, stack up to PC? God, I hate. There we go. Goodness. There's a place you can stand on the very edge of this cliff, which actually allows you to hit the other eye from it, but you've got to do it 3 times. Each eye twice, 6 total hits, I believe. I may be wrong, actually it's 3 times per, so maybe 9. So 1, 2, 3, gosh. And then of course his closed eye still acts as a collision object, so your water won't go past it if he's got his eye closed. He's a time sink of a boss unless you really get to hit that eye, and I am not the best at it. He's not a hard boss, though, most of the time. Ah, I missed. So that's what I needed to do, but better. By one hit better. I don't know. He's the only enemy in this game that I don't know what he is. I think he's just the waterfall. Don't play CTPS1, LOL. Steam version is basically the Okay, purists will always go to the SNES, but the DS version is solid. I have the DS version and I have the SNES version. Oh, I actually have the PS1 version too. I have all 3. I do not have a PC version. There we go. So I didn't know how that stacked up. My wife bought me the SNES version actually about 2 years ago. So it's actually a decently recent to the collection. I like these little owls shooting cheese puffs at me. Son of a gun, I thought I could get that. That's gonna hit. Oh, it didn't. Ducking would have actually done absolutely nothing, so I don't know why. It's just a defense that does nothing. Son of a gun. Oh, no. Gosh dang it. I always do that. Okay. It's alright, I get to be Squitter, I guess. Looks like the Islanders might not make it to the Stanley Cup. I can't watch the game anyways because I don't use cable. That's fair. Sorry to hear that, though. And my apologies. I don't know much when it comes to hockey. We're big on football. My wife and I both are big on NFL, and then of course my brother and some of my buddies are big on like NCAA stuff. Which of course NCAA, for anybody who is a fan, is apparently getting another football game, which is awesome because they had that whole skirmish several years back and stopped making games for like 6 years. Oh, son of a gun, that's alright. That's the last, they're the last ones. Did you go about practicing this beforehand or felt comfortable enough to go in relatively cold? Oh, no, I wanted to stream, and I didn't know I wasn't gonna have much of an opportunity to, for a little bit. I turned this on, and then I started the stream. So I went in completely cold from the playing perspective. Now I've played this game for 20 years, 25 years, just about. So it's not cold from that. I don't want to leave it like, oh, he's doing decently well and he's never played this game. It's nothing like that. But yeah, no, I flipped it on and said, let's go, just for the fun of it. Well, also to promote the awesomeness that is coming on Sunday, right? I mean, we're gonna have 2 actually proficient speedrunners versus myself, right? Doing some really cool stuff, and much like I'm doing, right? Except for much faster. Of course, you know, death may still happen, but it's gonna be faster than what I'm doing right now, with or without the death. This is a bugger. No pun intended. Those jumps right there, you have to get just right. If you don't get them right, you automatically lose a Kong per jump. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna do a mini DKC marathon of 1, 2, and 3, hopefully in the summer sometime. Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd love to be there for as much of that as I can, because that sounds awesome. I've never played DKC, this DK3. I highly recommend it. It's my favorite of the 3, and I think from a technical perspective, I think it's absolutely the most sound. And they do a really interesting thing. In the previous games, this is my observation and opinion on that observation, so please, if I'm wrong, don't take offense, if it doesn't apply to you, rather. But what I notice is in DKC1, a lot of people say, oh, I love that game, and then I watch them play levels that they hate. And in case, for me, that is, I do enjoy the game, but I absolutely hate Oil Drum Alley. And then you get you get the ones that play, for example, DKC2. Oh, it's so good, but then that's the bonus barrel. We're fine. People that play DKC2 say, oh, I love the game, but then we see them play like Hothead. What is it? Hot Top Hop, something like that. I can't remember exactly. And most people are like, I don't like that one. And so, and I'm like, well, how can it really be your favorite if you don't like a whole, an entire section? As far as this game goes, if you're doing the 103%, it's got some frustrating pieces for darn sure. But if you're just playing it either casually or if you're just kind of going through it quick, it's actually super fun. All the levels are actually really fun. It's only when you're doing a 103, going through and getting all the bonus barrels, going through and getting all like the bonus barrels and everything, that I find it kind of frustrating. Some of the levels frustrating. And since that's not something I do, son of a gun. Me to ease. Oh, I love Oil Drum Alley, with the exception of going for the 101%. Oh, fair enough. I have trouble with it because there's that part at the end where the oil drum's set on fire, but the fire never truly fully recedes. And whether or not I know that at some point that fire doesn't actually hurt you until it's at XYZ, I still get tricked and I'll still either lose a Kong or likely just die there. Second death at Ripsaw Rage. Not doing too bad though. We're what are we? We're almost 4 worlds out of 7 down. We're doing okay. This is definitely not going to be any sort of world record, but at least I I mean, I'll learn the level strats more. I'm gonna go look at some of the strats when it gets there. I'm gonna start practicing this game because I really like this game, and it feels like a game that should go fast. Donkey Kong in general to me feels like games. They feel like games that should go fast. I think. Maybe that's just me. Oh, but anyway, so I find that being the case with people that are talking about DKC. I could have gotten that banana and taken that barrel, but I didn't. I should have. But anyway, it's like I find myself doing that with those. With this game, I actually don't find, like, when I'm doing the 103, it's like, oh, every level. On this one, not really though. I really like a lot of, like, we've got Logi Labyrinth coming up. Getting 101 or getting 103, excuse me, on that, really frustrating. Just going through it, pretty fun. Oops, go kitty. Blazing bazookas. They did a lot of things. This level is definitely a good example of a level that has areas that flow, and those just jumping on those barrels and doing that flow is just so satisfying to me. I don't need this. I'm not going to be Squitter. You can also be Squitter without the TNT. You just stand on him, and then when he shoots, the bazooka. Gosh dang it! The actual bazooka becomes intangible. I'm sorry. That doesn't offer any clarification. The dinosaur bazooka. The little croc. I don't need that. What happened? Okay, this is a little frustrating. Sorry. Not this level, just what's happening here. Okay, this is what I want. That is what I want. Let's, there we go. And then Kitty does have, like, the Diddy air jump, but he does it not as good. Kitty's air jump does do a lot more, but he can still do it. I mean, it's better to leave that in and it have flow than otherwise. Boom. There we go. Okay, now I'm feeling like we're back on track. I felt like we kind of lost momentum there for a second, so lost too much momentum rather. I was still gonna play through it, but it's one of those things where if you get it, you start getting a feel and everything feels good, and then you start getting a feel and things don't feel as good. It's a little bit frustrating. Like this right here slowing me down was a little frustrating, but I got it. And I say frustrating, but by the way, I should clarify. Frustrating is like when I'm frustrated at this, it's not like a genuine frustration. It's like a dang. It's enough for me to say dang. That's about it. I think I read somewhere saying that Miyamoto hated DKC 1, saying that it was a style over substance game. He was a bit bitter over Yoshi's Island. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Miyamoto's a genius, but at the same time, when you have somebody that works really hard to make a game, and then you have another team of people that are working at that point in time, cranking out games that are garnering as much popularity, in some cases more than your first party stuff, I can understand why there was a little bit of salt, but at the same time, these games are amazing. Even if Miyamoto had gone on saying he stood by it, I would have disagreed with him respectfully on that. These are awesome games. There's kind of an odd audio glitch, by the way, so that's not the mixer, that's just the game. I don't think I've ever had that happen on anything before, so it's a little weird. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so I think that a lot of the thing with Donkey Kong Country, like I said, Rare was on such a binge of just goodness at that time. They were, no, don't jump. One of the things I don't like is that there is this, whenever you get hit, there's an automatic jump, and I know that they did that to try to prevent damage, but in a level like this, it actually causes damage. Oh, but anyway, also, Purple Perry here he holds barrels. He doesn't cough eggs like Green Perry, which we'll see later. We skipped him the last time because he was slower than the Kongs. But anyway, the Rare was on such a son of a gun. Rare was on such a kick at that time where it was like I said, they were doing DKC 1, 2, and 3 obviously. Then they had done they jumped over to the Nintendo 64. They did Killer Instinct. They did DK64. They did Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. I mean, they were just they could do no wrong at that point, and it was amazing. And it wasn't until Xbox bought them out that they just really, I say Xbox, sorry, Microsoft bought them out, that they just really kind of dropped, in my opinion, dropped the ball. But it wasn't their fault. It was Microsoft put them on Connect duty. I mean, what can you do? You're working on games for a new technology that you don't know how it's going to work. I don't blame them for that. There we go. Oh. Okay, and then they do tubies. 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'll catch it back up on the chat. I'm just going through this really quickly. Okay. So let's see. About the Miyamoto, a bit better. Every game I've worked on is no longer playable. This is the curse of online-only games. Oh yeah, that is sad. I'm so sorry. Victory Leo says one reason I prefer physical copies. I agree. It is a little bit of a bummer sometimes to have that. I prefer physical copies too. I get that there's convenience in digital, but I mean, and I made mention of this at some point. I think during one of the streams. I'm not positive if that's where. But I did some reading of the EULA of Tekken 7 some time back, and it was really interesting how many rights that they had on your digital copy. You would have, in some cases, you would have them basically say, if you do stuff we don't like, we can revoke your right to play this game, or your ability to play this game. And I'm sitting there going, okay, well that's. You should be able to bar my ability to play the online version if you think that I'm being inappropriate for certain. But I did pay the money to play the $60. I did pay the $60 to play the single player. I should still be able to play the single player. It's gonna punch 1, 2. Here's 3. There we go. It's a little bit tougher with Kitty on this one. Just because he's a little bulkier and easier to hit, but this part's not tough. It's this. It was when he runs back and forth piece. There we go. I think this is a really cool idea. Whoa! Oh. I think this is a really cool idea with the head flying around with laser beams. I think that's awesome. The bosses on this were definitely original, I feel like. But yeah, I feel like I do feel like that. Like I said, if I buy the game, if I spend $60 or $70, oh my goodness, my poor wife. And if you see this, by the way, sorry about that, and I love you. I'm so sorry that's the case. She is on a plane taking care of stuff, trying to do some stuff, and she was supposed to be. She had a layover, and she was supposed to be done with the. She was supposed to be. Oops! Come on, kitty. She's supposed to be done with the. She was supposed to be done with the flight and board a while back, 6 o'clock, I think, and they've delayed her to just now. She's getting on to get to her end destination. I feel so bad for her. Firefall dead, Defiance dead. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. For a first-time play, these bosses are a lot tougher than they look. Yeah, I agree. Firefall dead, Defiance dead, Assassin's Creed Memories dead. Glad I left when I did because the decade I sunk into that industry has nothing to show for the months of crunch. Happier now. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're happier at least. Well, I shouldn't say at least. That's the most important piece. I'm glad you're happier. Okay. I still hate that lightning lookout. I agree. I completely agree with you, Yugoslav. I don't hate it. No, never mind. I shouldn't say I hate it because that's not true. I actually quite like it. It's just, it is definitely frustrating. But it's because they tried it different. So there's not really a They did it based off of your location. They did. They did it based off your location, and gosh dang it. They did it based off of your location. I'm focusing on trying to say something rather than play something, and I'm messing up, but I can do two things at once. Goodness. Just gotta get it into gear. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's based off your location. So what it did, and it's also kind of brilliant when you think about it, is it's predictive, or it's attempting for the SNES to be predictive, and say, oh, I think it's gonna go there, and that's what made it so freaking frustrating. Is it's actually really good at predicting where you should be. Maybe a little too good. Easiest way for me to... What I typically do on it is I use Dixie, and then I hold a barrel over my head for safety. A wooden barrel for safety, because if you hold a metal barrel, they also did the whole... It conducts electricity thing. Which actually comes in handy. If you have done the 103%, the second boss fight actually requires that gimmick, so I understood why they put it in the game that the metal barrels conduct electricity. Because it's actually, like I said, it's a huge part of the secret boss fight. These are pretty cool. I kind of knew that was going to happen. That's okay, though. When do we get Thumb Bros, the MMORPG? Lightning just randomly gets you. Yeah, it seems, yeah. LOL, will there be an amateur PvE server and a pro PvP server? That's cool. Oh, man. That's actually really funny. I like that. I like that a lot. There's a bonus barrel actually down there. I was always wondering why they did a really so it's interesting. I mean, now that I'm playing it, I'm sorry, when I started playing it, everything was so hidden. When I look at it now that I know where everything is, it's kind of like, wow. Some of these, like, I don't understand how some of these things got discovered. Some of these bonus barrels. Oh, that's done. I didn't do it. There is so if you hit that bug right there, that knick-knack, is what they're called, the little mosquito-looking guys. If you hit him, you only have a couple of frames to actually jump over the gap. If you don't hit him, you've got plenty of time. But if you hit him, you narrow it down to like 4 frames or something like that. I think it may not be quite that few, but it's a very small number of frames. So I'm very impressed that I was able to do that by happenstance. Also, I have jumped early before on that. There's a Thumb Bros MMORPG, but we're working on the loot boxes at the moment. EA style, you can win the same prize, but spend different money. I loved how metal weapons and armor in Breath of the Wild worked in electrical storms. I threw a sparking metal Hungamunga knife at the Lizolfos, and a bolt of lightning nailed him. Oh, that's so cool. So actually, fun fact, I probably already know this, first game that I am aware of to use conductive weaponry, electronically conducive weaponry. I don't know if this is a fact in terms of the first ever to do it. The first I am aware that did it is Castlevania 3. And that's because there is a point in time where you fight against... I hate this part. There's a point in time where you fight against a... and I can't remember which one it is. It's like a... I don't remember. Is it Frankenstein? Good. I hate this part. I hate this part so much. It's not because it's bad. It's because I'm not good at it. But still. There's slowdown, and I know that the game doesn't account for that. Like, they did a good job on it. It's just I'm not good at it. Because I'm sometimes bad at figuring out where those collision articles for the barrels are. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so yeah, the what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the I think it's the hammer guy actually, maybe. I can't remember exactly which, but it's one of them. And if you throw a knife, as it's outside, it's the one you're fighting actually outside when you go to rescue Sypha. And if you throw a knife above his head and lightning strikes the knife, he will take double damage. Because he'll take electrical damage on top of that. Sorry, I'm speaking really loud. I was getting really nervous and really passionate, so I apologize if the volume of my voice became unpleasantly loud. Let's do this. Okay, sorry. I honestly feel Breath of the Wild 2 will either be released in November 2022 or March 2023 just because Nintendo likes to have attention to detail. That's true, and I think it'll be great too. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I know, yeah, you beat me to it. I agree. I think it'll be fun though. I'm excited. I really liked Breath of the Wild, the first Breath of the Wild. I really like Zelda games in general. They are not my favorite franchise, but I like them. And that includes, like, I know that it got flack, but I actually really liked Skyward Sword. I've not played the Switch version yet, but I did buy the big, like, gold remote from, the big one that came with the gold Wii remote back in the day. And I have no regrets. I really enjoyed it. Also, I'm pretty sure No Regrets is floating around. Anybody who doesn't know, I know it's regrets. I'm referring to, and I'm sure you guys know it. There's that tattoo, that person, I don't remember if it was a lady or a guy, got the tattoo that was supposed to say no regrets, but the tattoo artist misspelled it, and it was no regrets. And I kind of like that she, or he, whoever, I think they just kind of rocked it, which I think is awesome. I don't have any tattoos, personally. I can't get them. My wife does, though. She's actually got quite a few. She's got, as a matter of fact, she's got one of the most awesome. She's got one of the most awesome ones, in my opinion. I am a big fan. Her and I both are big fans. Part of the thing we kind of bonded over in the very early days of our dating was Alice Madness Returns, the American McGee's Alice horror games. I really liked, and she did too. And she has that Mad Hatter, pretty good big one of the Mad Hatter and the Cheshire. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, way off a topic there, didn't I? I'm sorry about that. And I'm excited. They're also coming out. I guess a side note to that topic, if I may finish the thought, and my apologies. They're coming out with another American McGee's Alice called Asylum, but I have no idea. They've been working on it for years. I have no idea when they're finally going to come out with it, but I don't imagine it's going to be for another couple of years. It feels like it's still in, like, way pre-alpha, the stuff that they've shown off so far. Well, a lot of it's, actually, to be fair, a lot of it's not in-game engine footage yet, so not even pre-alpha. Whoops. And I apologize, this is a little bit slower just because being Squitter is not exactly the most fast thing you can be. He's cool, I like him. I know he's not the most overpowered, but he's definitely my favorite of the friendlies. There we go. Also, buzzes don't have hurt boxes on their heads. So if you're wondering why I'm getting so close, that buzzsaw on their back actually extends into their body, into their head, and if it touches you, you get hurt. Not into the back of their head, but the very fronts of their heads don't have any sort of collision. I mean, any sort of hurt box. So you can just go right through it. Oop. Okay, so sorry. There's like 0 chance of Breath of the Wild being released within a year. Yeah, I agree. You are a beast at this game. You can easily NDR it if you wanted to, man. Oh, thank you so much. I like it a lot. It's a fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this, actually. I like it. I want to get fast and do speedrun strats at it, but I'm having a lot of fun just going through it. I really love it. Thank you so much for being here, though, guys. All of you. Anybody who's dropped in, and the people, especially to those. Oops. Kitty's better for this, but that's okay. Especially to those of you who are still here and who are, participating and keeping me company and talking with me. Thanks so much for keeping me company. I really do enjoy that, and I really appreciate it. Okay, that's fine. That's the third death. Kitty's bigger, and he ends up. It's real weird. She is smaller, so because she's smaller, her hitbox doesn't hit. It hits. The Limguins are. Okay, let's see. How do I explain this? The Limguins' hurtbox and hitbox are really close together, obviously, because it's their beaks, the fronts of them. So long as they're facing sideways. Whoops. And so Kitty is big enough that he goes from hitbox to hitbox. But Dixie is not, so she goes from hitbox to hurtbox. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of him. Oh, never mind. Whoops. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. Oh, no, you won't. Dang it. Nope, he didn't do it on that because it's up. Dang. Anyway, he's better jumping at him because it's more likely that he'll go from the hitbox of one Limguin to the hitbox of the other versus hitting their beak. Because he's bigger, but... Thumb, you said I could NDR it, and I messed up right after that. I'm sorry to have let you down. Of course, it's only my third death, and I'm almost done with the game. So it's not too bad. I'm not unhappy about it. Dying is... That's the thing, like... And I agree with this sentiment. I think I've talked about it before. People that can do NDRs are absolutely talented, but man, it's I'm impressed with people that go fast. If they die once, but they go through it in 4 minutes, like that's impressive to me. I don't care if they die once, or if they die 6 times, but they get through a game in 7 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. That's impressive. One of the coolest boss fights. Okay, sorry. And this is actually, you actually get to practice at this by doing the carnival games, which I haven't done any of. Son of a gun, I don't know why I did that. Okay, I shouldn't die any which way on this boss, but I just was paying attention to stuff I wasn't supposed to. On the same screen, it was just me being doofus. There's the Carnival Swanky Sideshow, I think it's called in this case, and in Swanky Sideshow, you actually get to practice throwing these carnival balls at these targets, and so you don't realize it, but they're actually gearing you up for practice here. 3, 2, 3. Then he goes back to throwing snowballs really quickly. I'm going to hit it because it's right there. And then he goes to a much faster pattern, and this should be the last time I have to hit him when it comes there. 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. There we go. I'm holding out for OLED ink before I consider tattoos. I can't stand the same desktop wallpaper on my PC for more than a few days, so a permanent image would never change my skin. That's fair. That's actually a really smart idea. But I think doing the unintentional NDR is a better way to go, in my opinion. Of course, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's impressive if you can do it, but at the same time, think about speedrunning in its nature. Going through a game and not dying is impressive, but you can go super slow. You have all the time in the world to not die. Going through a game super fast, even if you die, that's what's impressive, I think. I think the whole 10 deaths or left 5 things my thing, because that's the way you're playing. That's how you're playing the game better in a natural way to me. Yeah, well, there's less pressure on that, and there's more focus to just get through the game quickly. So yeah, how you can't read chat and play the boss at the same time. Yeah, I know. I know. It's especially not that boss. I could do it with some bosses, not that one for sure. I could do it with I probably could do it with Belcha and Eric, but I don't think I could do it with any other boss. It's bad, Mr. Frosty from Battletoads and Clay Fight. yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah. Son of a gun. Okay, so this is. There are a couple of tricky levels in here. So for the sake of fast, yet again, I'm not playing the game super fast at this point. I've been on live. How long? Real quick. I don't know how long I've been live. I'm guessing so my clock. I can't quite read my clock. It looks like it's been like an hour and a half. Not too bad. I mean, that's not a fast run. It's not let me clarify. It's fast for me. It's not a speed run pace, but this will effectively have been my PB because I've never tried this before. And I'm happy about that. I walk away with this no matter what with a personal best. Ah, son of a gun. Old habits die hard. So I actually 103. I should clarify also to anybody who's curious: he keeps going for the bonus barrels. I 103 it every year. I don't just play it and pass it. I actually 103 it every year, and I've done that for I think the past maybe 10 years. I at least 103 it once a year, sometimes twice, because I really love this game. So that's kind of where the old habits die hard piece comes. It's not like it's a. Firstly, I'm not trying. It's not me trying to be like, haha, I'm so good. I just naturally. I don't mean for it to come across that way, because that's not the intention. But no, I love this game so much that I 103 it at least once, maybe twice a year. And you just stay up here, you get a dime. Because I enjoy the game so much, I 103 it at least once a year. So I guess, and like I said, in 103 you get every bonus barrel and every DK coin and pass every level. The only one that's different is 105, which is you have to at the very beginning put in the code, which I miss cheat codes. But in this game it was left right right left right right left right left right, and then you would type in harder HARD and the letter R, and that would be your. And then that would be your cue for 105%. And then you play it, and it has only 2 halfway barrels, and many, like I think it's like only 2 star barrels in any level. And I think it's only 5 DK barrels, something like that. It's a very small amount of help. So 103 doesn't have those stipulations. And if you get 105, you get a cool little Easter egg. Well, I say Easter egg. It's not really an Easter egg. You get a kind of cool... Really? Why did I do that? You get a really cool thing at the very end, where you see that you've beat... well, I don't know if I should spoil it, honestly. I think it might be fun for people to see what happens when you get 105 at some point. I think it's cool. It's a little nerdy, but I think it's cool. Also, those guys are called copters. I've never... you can't hurt them. And sometimes they get frustrating, but I think they're adorable. I've never wanted any harm to come to them. Also, they're kind of helpful for the 103/105, because for one of the bonus barrels, you actually have to jump on one of their heads, and they don't hurt you if you do that. The helicopter blades hurt you, but it's this one right here. You have to jump up on his head. There's a bonus barrel up there. Okay. I think the game clock stops. I think the game clock stops if you're paused or at the world map. Oh, okay, that'd be nice. I'll go ahead and save my game just in case. I think it's the Retro Room run. Fine by me. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I really appreciate everybody for being here. Yugoslav, Resvergam, Thumb Brothers, everybody else who's been in here and chatted, but specifically those of you who are still talking, like I said, keep me company. It's such an awesome thing to have people coming in, have friends coming in and saying hi and talking with each other and talking with you. It's such a cool thing. So thank you so much. For sure, playing a game like this could be grueling, so you're kind of building some stamina with the game. Yeah, it's definitely... That's a good point. That's a really good point. Stamina is a great way to... That's a good thing to think about. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's why I'm not going for DKC2 NDR anymore. I'm just going to play it for fun and just die less when I can. Yeah, it happens. The more you play it, the naturally better you're going to get at the game. Would anybody... Hopefully no one will mind. I'm going to take a quick sip of my drink. Ah, you sounded like the expert there for a second. Did I do a voice by mistake? I don't... Goodness. I didn't realize that. I can't do... if I could do it well or right, I would try to do an impression of expert. I really... the expert voice is... I freaking love the expert voice. It cracks me up. I just don't have the... I don't have the vocal... My voice is different, and for whatever reason, it's not different from anybody else. It's not any more unique than anybody else's. It's just different than Expert's voice, and it's very hard for me to get to Expert's voice. I should try it one day, but I don't know if I want to embarrass myself and do it right now. There's a bonus barrel over there. And this actually has a really interesting piece here where you, which is kind of cool. You actually have, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of guesswork. There's one of these cliffs that have a banana on it, and then you have to know that banana needs you to run up the screen. Do this real quick. Because it didn't go, this is an auto scroller basically, it didn't go any faster, or slower no matter what. you have to know that that banana is indicating that there's a bonus barrel, and you actually have to climb that cliff before the fuse hits the top of the rope, or otherwise you die, because it's an auto scroller. So if that fuse hits the top, you're in trouble. You're effectively off screen, and that means you're dead. Okay. Here comes a tricky piece where they start kind of coming in at angles. There's a barrel over there. It's actually worth jumping to the end sometimes, but because there's a barrel over there that'll just shoot you back. But I remember I used to hate this level. I couldn't do anything with it when I was much more unpracticed. I didn't like it. And granted, auto scrollers aren't necessarily my shtick, but at the same time, I don't think this is a level to hate. It's actually I actually like it quite a bit nowadays. And I'm not a fan of auto scrollers. It's just I happen to like this level for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just grown on me through the years. The other thing I like really a lot about this is because the controls are pretty good. When you switch directions, it's pretty great. Let's see. I was considering, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I was considering scripting a graphical overlay linked to an insert coin button for the MAME while streaming to incrementally keep tally of how much money I would have blown to keep a game. That's really cool. That's a great idea. I actually just got a Pandora's box. I didn't order it. A pawn shop had one. Yet again, I go pawn shopping. It's absolutely not. You hear it a lot if you hear my channel. I bought it for them, and I talked them down to, they didn't know what it was worth. I talked them down to $35 for it, and I actually had credit with that particular pawn shop from a camera that I had purchased that went wrong. And so I actually got it for free along with 2 video games for the Xbox One. So I'm excited to try it. This is just in terms of MAME. Your idea is still I don't mean to diminish that. I was just saying I came away with finally a way to play arcade games. So my apologies. Please don't let that diminish from the the awesomeness that is that idea, because the idea of you being able to say a game is hard enough that you've blown $70 on it effectively is amazing. And I think that there's the oh shoot, what is it? Have you ever played? I don't know if you've ever played it. The Mystaria, Chronicles of Mystaria. Its Chronicles is now both of them, but they used to have it was like Dungeons of Mystaria or whatever. Anyway, that game had a ridiculous section in it where you had to go to this. You could beat this. Nope. You could beat this dragon, but he was son of a gun. I don't need him. It was so tough that you would he did one-shot kills at the very beginning, and so you'd have to blow like 50 cents on it every time you lost the one-shot kill. Lost to that one-shot kill. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. I'm a little more focused in on this one just because I am trying to go quickly. The way you're supposed to do that is those glowing fish are called gleam breams, and you're supposed to go poke them. And when you poke them, they light up everything. But because I'm trying to go quickly, oh well, found a hole. Because I'm trying to go quickly, I am trying to navigate this without the light. I'm trying to just go through it in the dark. And I don't know how difficult it is for you guys to see it, but it's actually super difficult for me to see it on this side. So I'm doing this halfway because I from what little I can see, plus some memory, plus some, you know, for example, I can see those. I saw those lurchins just fine. Dang it, overshot. Yeah, that's fine. There should be more lurchins around here. There they are. Ah, shoot. Okay. Okay, that's better. I didn't mean to poke him, but I guess I had to wait anyway. If you, anybody who hasn't played this game, it works the same way as the previous ones with On Guard. If you're close to an enemy and you're facing that enemy, you automatically poke. If you're close enough and you're facing them, you'll automatically poke an enemy. I think those Gleaming Breams and the there's another one we haven't seen them yet, but they're called Bounty Bass. They're red versions of the same thing. I think those are hilarious. Also, on the Lurchins, if the Lurchin is completely closed, you take damage. But if it's anything besides completely closed, you don't take damage. You can poke them and kill them. Let's see. Oh, the Pandora's Box. I was thinking about getting that. I haven't tried it yet. I'm excited about it, though. Mine has a weird decal, I think. It's the Super Street Fighter V decal. Wouldn't have been my first choice, but I can always change that. Guile AI cheats. Heck, all the CPS fighters cheat. Guile can run towards you firing off sonic booms. That is pretty cheap. And then Guile will just toss you at will. Yes, yeah. Yeah, to beat the AI with playing arcade, you mostly have to spam attack. Yeah, and I mean a lot of those games, they definitely did the they definitely wanted their quarters from you, so they definitely made some stuff cheap. I think they said that they had made Sagat super cheap in a lot of the I can't remember which exact one, but Sagat was made super cheap on purpose. I spoke with an engineer that worked on the Street Fighter 2 series, and he told us how Capcom has an FU, give me quarter. AI that cheats after the third match and progressively ramps. Oh wow, okay, yeah, so you actually have way more insight. That's awesome. If we play this co-op, we could be the first ones to get a PB on speedrun.com. That'd be awesome. I'd love to do this. I'd do this co-op with you in a heartbeat. That'd be awesome. Only 26 people have submitted for DKC under speedrun.com Warpless category. Yeah, it's a very underrated game, and there's not a lot of strats as far as I'm aware of it. Like I said, the biggest guy that I had seen do it was Morks, and that was back in like 2014 or something. Oh, Kachunkas. Yeah, I don't know very many people that do this. It's fun. I don't know why you wouldn't, other than it's not Super Mario World style fast. These only give you one banana if I can hit them. There we go. Some people just get frustrated because they want to go a lot faster than some. Sometimes the optimal. That's the thing. Some speedruns are great and they're 5 and 10 and 15 minutes. Contra 3, right? You think, oh, that's a tough game. But it's 15 minutes. Mr. K's got it. And so like if you see that and you're like, oh, I want bigger, faster, all that kind of good stuff. Whatever that Daft Punk song is, you want those things. And not every game does that. Some games it takes a half hour to pass up. Some games it takes longer than that. But what's interesting is people play Chrono Trigger and they'll the speed runs like 3 hours or something. I don't know exactly how long, but it's not a short version. And then people will do that. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't need to. I need Ellie. Get off. Okay. Why did I float? I don't know. It was an accident. That's okay. She'll end up in the water. There she is. You didn't want to get her trunk wet. There's also a bonus barrel up on the other side of that. This is going to lead us to Squitter. Boop. Let's go under. We're not real interested. There's a bonus barrel up there. We're going to miss. Almost all of the levels have 2 bonus barrels, except for a select few which have 3. There is there are a select few that have 3. There's one a select few have 3, and then there's one that doesn't have any bonus barrel at all, and that's Rocket Run, in the which is the last level before the boss fight in the secret world, and it's very, very difficult. There's a bonus barrel down there. What that TNT is for. Ooh, I'm gonna get hit. I don't know. Something also. There's another thing that's really interesting to me, and this is weird. And this may not be a. Oops. But I don't know, obviously, where, like, I think that for the sake of things, they did these, just kind of, and I say generic, not to say that there wasn't effort put into them, because there certainly was, but these, like, rocky backdrops and such, and I really like these, like, backdrops and such. Okay, there's a bonus barrel down below us right now. You wouldn't think to drop down, because there's no reason that you would, but when there's 3 green bees with no red ones, that's how you know. And there's a bonus barrel down there. Also, you can hang on to these little toggles on the side and actually avoid some enemies because they can't get the hurt box to extend far enough. But it's that really works only majorly if you're a Dixie. If you're Kitty, he's kind of still big enough to get hit. I don't want... Gosh dang it, Perry. Why do you do this to me? Thank you. I had to get the G to despawn the barrel. It's actually faster than dying in the barrel. 21st place is 1 hour, 27 minutes. 8th place is 61 minutes. Top time for 103 is 1 hour, 50 minutes. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good for 103. I think so. Yet again, I'm no expert. This, in my opinion, is probably the most difficult boss fight for me, just because it is kind of RNG orientated. So phase 1, for anybody who hasn't played, green lurchins come out, and then you have to hit them, and they have to bounce off and hit these pink lurchins, which otherwise can't be hit. If they're too close to the wall, then they won't bounce off. That's phase 1. Then you poke the big one here. This is barbless, by the way. Phase number 2, you come down here, and then this little octopus with a shell on him starts swimming at you. You let him lock onto these pink things, he'll start flying at you, hit the pink thing, and then he'll do the same thing. He's basically just taking out the bodyguard for you. This part's probably the easiest. Except for sometimes if you go off screen, or if you let the pink lurchin off screen, it doesn't count. So that first one, while it should have counted, it didn't. And then now Barbos will lock herself up there. I don't know if... I think Barbos is a her. I don't know. It always just seemed like a her to me. And then she does this, and I go... Blah, blah, blah. You get that cool kind of rubbery effect. And then staying over here and just moving up and down is kind of the method. Sometimes you can find a spot where the needle doesn't go, but they do kind of make it random when the needles come out. And I say this is the hardest boss. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's hard. It's just sometimes the patterns will get you. Okay, that's the end of her. And then she'll spit out her thing. And she's the first of the bosses. Wait, no, she's not. She's the second of the bosses to give bonus coins because you don't actually get a new boat. This jet ski is the last one you get. In 103%, you'll eventually get the gyrocopter, but you don't get that until you collect all the DK coins. Those rocky backdrops are care of those awesome silicon graphic render stations, pre-rendered sprites and background pieces, plus pretty parallax effects equals gorgeous eye candy. Yeah, I agree. I also really like. I would love to like live in a place that had such a view. Colorado had that. My wife and I went and visited that earlier this year, January, February, and it was gorgeous. I'd love to do that. LOL on the MCU phases. Was George Lucas Star Wars also a big player in silicon graphics, at least Star Wars game-wise? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, we're in the last home stretch here. I'm not sure if ILM was all about silicon graphics rendering station. I know they came from Pixar engineers. That's pretty... isn't it interesting, it's just as a side note, to think of how many things that George Lucas has created inadvertently through just trying to tell a story. Bonus barrel down there. Get those. Okay. Throw that. It's for that bird, but I don't need it. Another weird glitch I noticed, and I don't know why it happens, but when you throw one of those, dang it. Dang it. Son of a gun. I lost some time, but that's okay. I haven't been going uber fast any which way. I've been having fun with it. I hope you guys have too. This has been fun. Alright, Kitty's kind of hard to jump that with because he's so big that even if you jump almost just right, he can still catch the edge of that buzz. You can also just ride this conveyor all the way to the end, and if you're on the right pattern, nobody will hit you. Boom. Sound was also a big thing. Yeah, THX sound is still among the best sound systems used in cinemas. Yep. You got THX, you got Pixar, you've got, I mean, just so many things. Hey, George Lucas created Star Wars and Indiana Jones, took inspiration, of course, who has an LOL, but people that don't understand how hard it is to get any creative ideas, let alone an awesome idea. Well, then on top of that, like, just to come up with effects, like, you end up with Pixar, and you end up with ILM, and you end up with THX, and so, like, there's so much that telling that one story, there's so much that he created, and, whoops. Are you kidding me? No, I'm taking the time to kill you the way you killed her. Mm-hmm. Kitty and Dixie are cousins, by the way. So the idea of that vengeance was probably a little harsh, but hopefully I didn't come across too harsh. Obviously, I wouldn't be like that if it were real life. It's just pixels and sprites. Pixels and sprites. Things that make pretty images and one of my favorite beverages. So the only thing that's really awkward here about this is there's a bonus barrel back there I better not go for. It has the momentum, the same kind of momentum in physics that you would normally have. Whoops. Same kind of momentums in physics that you would normally have, so sometimes when you're trying to get away, you are slow to start, and so getting out of the way of the ghost barrel doesn't happen fast enough. That's a little bit of a bummer. This part does kind of just try to test your reflexes, though, because it wants to. You want to make sure that that barrel is facing the right direction. Just do that, I guess. Because if it's not facing, I mean, you have to hit the button, and some of these barrels go quick. You guys can hang on down here. There you go. Most frustrating enemy, in my opinion, still. And I know that they were inspired from the ones that came with DKC 2, but. Oop-doo. Alright. I don't care about this. This is the DK coin. In some cases, it can just be a real time sink to wait for them to lean up the... Why? I don't like... Oh, that was the glitch I was talking about. Sometimes... That's fine. Okay, sorry about that. Star Wars 1976. Wow, it just some year after the westerns when you think about it. That's true. That's very true. Creative, awesome ideas are a dime a dozen. Being able to actually push them through through the parasites and egos of the creative industries and into final product is a Herculean task, though. Yeah, that's true. And then Empire Strikes Back was 1980. Yep. Sadly, that's true for the most part. Yep. I saw a lot of amazing concepts and ideas die through the decade in game development, TV production. Of course, I imagine you do. I have some of the concept art from the Star Wars 1313. This was back when I was working in the gaming industry myself, and seeing all of that they poured their heart and soul into, and then also seeing them seeing it not come to fruition, and now it's been scrapped for quite some time. But you know, that's why certain directors are very adamant in being writer and producer. Which makes sense, but it also makes it so much more difficult in some cases, the way that people are doing things now. I don't think it's impossible for certain, but it's just one of those things I feel like is much more difficult. Excuse me. Okay. Boop. So the best thing on this one that I find is keeping something overhead. That jump I did was pretty risky also, by the way, because I could have absolutely just jumped into... this is going to be real risky. Oops. So I made a mistake there, and I didn't mean to. Which was that I dropped the barrel in water. I wanted to break it first, but I didn't succeed. I can do it again. If you die with the barrel... Can I do it? Okay. That's fine. If you die with the barrel, even if so long as the barrel hasn't cracked yet, you still game over. And I'm sorry, I'm incredibly focused on this because it's such a bugger of a level. Red bees above the head are actually, in this case, incredibly comforting. Oh, I didn't count that time. That's okay. Let's get rid of this real quick. Kitty can't actually hold the barrel over his head, so because of that, he doesn't get any protection. Holding a barrel for him does nothing. Okay. And then, of course, being in the water anytime is ridiculously not good. He does get protection if you hit the front of him, but that's just if you just so happen to almost outrun the lightning. Dang it. That's fine. Okay. I was able to do it, though. And I'm going to go to Wrinklies again real quick. I hate to say it, but I couldn't finish watching Avatar on TV. I saw Avatar twice in theater, and I just found the story and writing to be very lacking now. Yeah, and they're coming out with Avatar 2, which maybe they'll remedy it, maybe they won't. I don't know. I agree. It's an interesting concept, but at the same time, it was just... It kind of got relegated to go green type thing, which I think was a little disappointing. Yeah, like it or hate it, at least it was a non-interfered version. I loved his older films, but I'm not a fan of his new stuff. Very fair. Okay. I think we've only got 3 levels left, essentially. And then we've passed the game. So we'll go up to it. Next one is Coindozer Clamber, and then I believe after that's Poisonous Pipeline, and then after that is the boss fight. This one's a little bit frustrating, and I might die. Dixie's definitely better for this, because there is a very pixely jump here. And if they bump you, the other thing that's really frustrating is if they bump you, they cancel out your command. So if you had like a glide command, for example, the bump will automatically cancel that out. Okay, there's actually a bonus barrel up above this bazooka. I'm not gonna get. But I find if I'm saying the bonus barrels out loud, I'm not getting them because I'm remembering them. But anyway, if you're not straight up and down on these guys, them being at just the slightest angle will bump you to the side. You have to make sure you're as straight up and down as you possibly can be. And it's right here that this gets a little frustrating, because they don't give you a lot of room to, like that. They don't give you a lot of room to make that jump. That's what I was trying to say. I knew that was probably where I was going to die, though. That's death number 4. Not too bad. Not too bad. For first attempt, I've died 4 times going through the entire game. And this is a decently long game. We're not, there's no Star Road to warp us. So I feel like that this is okay. There we go. If you hear the clickety-clackety of the SNES controller, that is my thumbs being crammed into the Y button to go fast, and also into the jump button to not make a big mistake on my jumps, hopefully. They also don't run straight for you. I think there's like a frame or 2 before you're, when you touch the ground before they mess you up there. Alright, oops, sorry. Poisonous Pipeline. The run of this one, the fun thing about this one the gimmick, I shouldn't say fun thing, it's not bad, is the D-pad's reversed. So up and down are the same because that's just A button. I'm sorry, B button. And then the D-pad's reversed. So right now I'm hitting left on the D-pad to go right, right on the D-pad to go left. It was a lot more difficult when I was younger, but so long as you have that concept in mind, it's actually not too bad. And it doesn't trick my thumbs anymore. It doesn't seem to trick my thumbs anymore. Now, what does get get tricky to me is when you jump out of the water. It's always been my thing, by habit, to hold on to the button that I'm trying to, like if I'm trying to jump out of the water, to hang on to that button. And in this you can't do that because it'll automatically change your momentum in midair. So if I'm trying to jump out of the water and I'm hitting left and I'm trying to jump to the right, underwater it will do the correct move. The minute I exit the water, immediately the opposite. So you have to jump first, then hit your D-pad slightly after to do that. It'd be cool. If you do it, if I do it right, it'll be cool. If it not, you'll see me loop around once or twice before I do it. And I'll appreciate your patience, hopefully preemptively, if you're willing to be patient with that kind of nonsense. But yeah, honestly, this is, I mean, I like to think that you wouldn't really think of, that you wouldn't really think if I hadn't told you. I like to think that you wouldn't know that the controls were reversed right now. I like to think I'm playing it almost as smoothly as if the controls were the correct direction. I don't know if that's the case, but I hope that is. That's what I aim for. I want to do it where if I look at the playback, I'll be like, wow, the controls look like they were flipped. They were the correct direction on that. They weren't flipped, is what I meant to say. I'm going to wait for this. Safety. Bananas. Also, my apologies. I do have, noise gate equipment and such, but if you start hearing popping, here we go. If you start hearing popping, that is because 4th of July starts real early around here, and since we live out in the middle of nowhere, people shoot fireworks out in their backyard. All right. You can technically submit this. I may have read that. To speedrun.com. Not sure if you need time. I would be game to do that. I mean, I can put a timer on it. That'd be cool. That always drove me nuts about Western versus Japanese controls paradigm. Western controls negate the PlayStation button symbols. I'm not, in my apologies, I don't know if I quite understand the way that you mean it. I'm sorry. Yes, PSP is like that. X and O are switch. Oh, okay, I get you. Gotcha. Okay. I think Americans equate X differently than they do in Japan, like confirmation. Yeah, O equals yes, confirm, and X equals no, cancel in Japan. Gotcha. Yeah, okay. As opposed to canceling. I heard rumor that was why the Xbox sold poorly. Is that X doesn't really, but that could be just a rumor. I'm going to refer, this will be the last time, hopefully I refer to it, but my 103% attempt, I actually did. It's worth taking a look at just a section if you get a chance. It's fun. I did post voice filters for this Chaos robot character as well as for the Chaos, as well as for Baron K. Rulenstein there. If you want to hear me do a little bit of voice acting and have a robotic filter and a Darth Vader filter and all that kind of good stuff on the voice, I just had fun with it. Oh, son of a gun, I didn't mean to do that. This is not hard, it's just I messed up. There we go. Should be standing right about, maybe actually a little far up. Right about there, I think. Let's see if I move. My hands are off the controller. Ah, dang it. I was off by a little bit. As opposed to canceling. GL. Thank you. Thank you very much, Thumb. Yeah, so I actually did this voice over here, and I had this, like, filter on, and I don't know, I had fun. I also did that in my Super Star Wars playthrough, Volume 2. I did a filter for my Darth Vader voice, and then I just kind of did Obi-Wan's voice. Myself, which is Sir Alec Guinness. I did the... Your father wanted you to have this when you were older, but your uncle wouldn't allow it. He had this really kind of gentle voice. Very comforting. When I lived in Japan, there was a game shop. And I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Japanese games on the shelf, bargain bin labeled Western Dog. Oh. Where the Xbox games were created. That's harsh. Okay, sorry, I was reading that comment, so I lost a little bit of time there. I also like this theme here at the end. I think this is a really cool theme. Yeah, I'll say Japan makes great games for sure. I mean, take a look at, like, this game is amazing, and this is made by English people. You know, take a look at, I mean, it just depends on how you feel about games like, here we go. Gotta get out of the way. There we go. Just depends on how you feel about, like, games like Halo and stuff like that, but honestly, I don't think it's... There are definitely developers out there that I would say are kind of that way. As a matter of fact, there's one in here in Texas, Gearbox, that I feel like are... They don't make bad games, obviously. They make great games. They just are shady people that do it. But, like, I would get that. But I don't know if I'm that harsh. That'd be kind of like me throwing a... Dang it. You don't hit the propeller, you hit the pack in this one. In the second boss fight, you do hit the propeller, but that wasn't what I was doing. I just messed up. Oh, he's coming up top, so we're doing this moving platform. Yeah, I don't know why. I like this boss fight theme here actually quite a bit. Is it the best theme ever? No, but I like it. I think the first one, final boss theme, is probably my favorite of all. Which I don't think is a controversial. I don't think that's a controversial opinion. I think most people would agree that that's kind of such a cool end theme. And my apologies if I'm not caught up on the chat right now, just because of the boss fight. Zap. I believe we do this last phase 3 times, and then we're good to go. Oops. That's fine. You want to go fast on this, but it is kind of slow because you have to wait for the electricity, and you have to wait for him, because if he hits it and it's not on the pack, then he automatically takes it. And if it lands on the ground and the electricity hits, then the barrel automatically gets burst anyway. Come on. That might land up quite well. Nope. I messed up. That's okay, though. This is the last hit. He'll be waiting there for a minute before the boom, and then back into the backdrop. And bonus code. And that would technically be time. That's the entire game without the, that's the game without the, secret world. Alright, sorry. Let's see. Going back to what I want to go back to that comment. So when I lived in Japan, there was a game shop in Akihabara that had Japanese games on the shelf, and a bargain bin labeled Western Dog, yes, and where the Xbox games were kept. Maybe it's just me, but I just couldn't get into Xbox. I did like what they were trying to do with Xbox Live Arcade. So I like Xbox quite a bit, actually, and there's big reasons for it. Firstly, are what they're doing with, like, Game Pass. I understand that, you know, companies are companies, and that's kind of the way that it works. Greed is greed, and that's going to happen. That's going to carry. But I really think one of the big things for me was, the fact that they're doing like Game Pass, and you get your games, and I better check mine, in fact, but I think we got them. You get your games, and from the games that you get online, you get free. You get 4 free games a month. 2 of those games, even if you cancel the service, you get to keep. You own them. 2 of those games go back. PlayStation Plus didn't do that, and then on top of that, Game Pass just has tons of games, even some that come out just as they come out. Let's see. A lot of great PC games are for the Western developers. That's true too. Very true. Early and late. I'm not sure if you were referring. You're probably referring to my run there with the boss. My apologies there. Yeah, I did. I messed up in that. That wasn't optimal, but it was all right. It was fun. And I really appreciate you guys for being here again. I know I've said that, but I'm happy to be a broken record if the music's good. And the fact that you guys have been here and are definitely worthy of, at the very least, my thanks. Me saying thank you. You know, I'm happy to say that. Let's see. Xbox Live was the beginning of the end of the innovative AAA game development. They conceived moddable PC games to be developed for their gated garden, and pretty much killed PC gaming mods. Yeah, that's true. I guess for me, I thought Xbox Live Arcade was for more older games like Super Smash TV, but I guess now Xbox Live is something different like PS Now. Well, Xbox Live is just the online service part, but the Xbox Game Pass. Maybe I'm wrong. Xbox Game Pass is giving a whole bunch of free games to people. So you get it's Ultimate now. Xbox Gold gives you 4 free games. Gives you 4 free games a month, 2 of which you keep forever, 2 of which can go back if the service is canceled. And then you get Game Pass, and Game Pass, it's $14.99 for both now a month. But Game Pass gives you just a huge library of like 200 or 300 games, including new releases. Like the Xbox Series X has Xbox Series X optimized games day one out on them. And in fact, there's another game. There's a Microsoft game that was coming out. I can't remember which one it is, but it's coming out on the Series X, and it is going to be free day one on Game Pass. Wonder what your game clock time would be. Oh, I don't know. GG. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the GGs. I really appreciate that. I don't think that was too bad. I mean, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I think, looking at my timer, I think I came in. If I take the pause down, I may go back and time it. But if I take the downtime, if I just splice together, and I may do that, if I just splice together the time that I'm not talking in the overworld, I bet you I did that in probably. I bet that took about an hour and a half. I think that's about where it would take. I'll go back and look at it and take a look at it, but I know I paused in some of the overworlds and such to talk, but I think it took an hour and a half is my guess based off of what I can see, how long I've been streaming. Because it's 2 hours 13 minutes, and I didn't start at the very beginning. I didn't start instantly. I gave it like 5 or 10 minutes before I started. Plus, I started out, so I don't know. I'd cut probably 20 to 30 minutes out of that just from talking and stuff. So that's not bad. I think that's respectable. I hated PS Now. Yep. I understand that completely. PS Now just doesn't work outside of Asian cities. See also Stadia. Yep. I believe you did 5 deaths. I did 4. I died 4 times, which is, I'm very proud of that, actually. And I didn't die on, like, I expected to take a death on Lightning Lookout, and I didn't. I actually didn't die on Lightning Lookout, so I'm actually quite proud of myself for this. So thank you guys, by the way, for being here and bearing witness to my goofiness. I'm super proud of this, even though I know it's not on pace for maybe a real speed run. I'm actually super proud of this. This is good. This is was really nice, and this is super fun to do. Games that I can pass fast. I kind of want to do a series on it, but I'm playing KOTOR right now, and KOTOR. I want to go through. Oops, sorry. I want to go through KOTOR. I definitely want to go through KOTOR and finish the game, and I'm at this point I'm a little over halfway through it, so I'm probably gonna do more of that. But I wanted to do this in promotion for the event Sunday, if that still happens. If it doesn't happen, no problem. But if it does, if it's still happening and everything's good to happen, I wanted to do this kind of a promotion for that. And granted, what I did here isn't near as impressive as what you guys are doing and have done, but I thought it'd be just kind of a neat. I called it a PSA, public service announcement, but I think I thought it was kind of a neat maybe way to do that. I had a lot of fun. I like this. I love this kind of roll call thing. I think this is a really cool. This is a Nintendo thing. So that I do think what I was gonna say is I think I want to do. Yeah, Bleak is horrifying. He does look like the Clay Fighters guy, but even a little scarier. The Clay Fighters guy is just creepy on the cover, but this guy, he's scary. But what I was gonna say is I wanted to do a. I think what I want to do now is some of the games. Like I think it'd be fun after this to play some of the games I do and just try to go through them as quickly as I can. Games that I've already played. You played awesome in this game. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I don't want to look to fish for compliments. I really appreciate that. I'm just saying I'm proud. I was just trying to say that I was proud of myself. So I apologize if it felt like I was fishing for compliments. I didn't intend it that way. But thank you so much. Nonetheless, I really appreciate that. I say nonetheless. That was a filler. My apologies. Thank you is what I mean. I find that I have when I'm thinking about stuff and I'm trying to respond as well as having other things on my mind or in front of me or I got distracted, I'll take filler statements, not necessarily words but statements, and that was one of the nonetheless I think is one of those words, one of those or statements depending on how you how you prefer spell it. So my apologies. But yeah, thank you so much is what I meant to say. Oh shoot, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, what I'd like to do is just kind of take a couple of other games and play them like this. My apologies, I cracked my knuckles. My fingers are a little stiff. I'd like to do like I did Aladdin for the SNES as well. I can pass that one in a decently fast time. I didn't try to go through it fast. I just tried to go through it. Yeah, again, 2 or 3 years ago on the channel, I did it, and I did it in like 45 minutes. And that was decently fast, but it was just me playing the game from beginning to end. I'd love to give it a shot and see if I could do faster. I imagine speedrun strats on that game are like 20 minutes, sub 20 probably. Alpha Nerd is also a beast on DKC2. I'd love to see a run from Alpha Nerd for that. I think that'd be awesome. I'm not a beast on DKC2. I can do decently well with DKC3. You've seen kind of the extent of those efforts at this point. I enjoy it. But I'd love to see DKC because DKC2, in my opinion, I think DKC2 is probably the most difficult of the three, and I'm specifically crediting that to the Bramble levels. One is somewhat difficult, but honestly, it's not really awful. It's just unwieldy. But DKC2 has those Bramble levels, and you have two characters that you. What makes DKC2 so appealing is a lot of people they like both characters. Dixie and Diddy both control really well, and they're fast. And just some of those levels are ridiculously hard. DKC3 though, like I said, I think that the characters. I disagree with a lot of people. It's a very unpopular opinion. But Kitty actually controls pretty darn well. He's not ideal for some stuff, for certain. But I prefer him on Limwin Lunge. I prefer him on Tidal Trouble. He just seems to control really well, even though he's bigger. He actually has a flow to him that I feel is really cool. So yeah, Alpha Nerd Rock DKC2 though. Yeah, I want to. If there's a recorded version, I'd love to go see it. I'll probably go give it check it out. Whenever I have some free time here in the next little bit, I'd love to take a look at that. But yeah, other games that I'd like to play that I'd like to do fast on, if I could. Excuse me. I'd like to do Aladdin SNES. I'd love to do Super Mario World. I know Super Mario World. I think Super Mario World with Star World and all that's like 7 minutes. There's some stuff I can't do. It's frame perfect stuff that I can't do. Where, for example, Yoshi. There's a specific series of jumps and backwards jumps. And then Yoshi can eat. Basically, he tries to eat a Charge and Chuck, which he can't do. So when he successfully eats the Charge and Chuck, due to the glitch, it glitches out the box and gives you the orb from the sunken ship, basically. But it looks like a Koopa without the shell. And then you can use that orb at any point in time, which typically the place to use it, as I understand, is in is in Iggy's castle. You hit the select button like you would use a cape, but it uses that orb, and you automatically pass Iggy's castle. I believe the run for that's like 7 or 8 minutes at maximum, and it may be even less now. I haven't checked in a long time. But I can't do that because I can't do the. I have to go through Iggy's castle the old-fashioned way. But I'd still have fun doing it. Aladdin sounds fun in Super Mario World. Yeah, heck yeah, I'd love to do that. I mean, I'd love to. Like I said, I want to finish KOTOR. I know I don't want it. People that have come in, and there's been a lot of people that have come in and watched KOTOR, and they've been very kind. And it's a great story, and it is my favorite. That is my absolute favorite game ever. So I definitely love to play it. But I just didn't feel like it was conducive to the event going on, and this seemed like something that kind of tied in with it well. So, but I had like I said, I had a ton of fun with it. And so once I do KOTOR, once I finish KOTOR, maybe I'll do some miscellany like that. I think that'd be fun. I kind of like the idea. So what was my... I got Mankey. That's all right. I got Mankey Monkey. So if you actually take a look, Cbop 9 up there is actually me too. But you can see my time, as far as this clock, and this clock, by the way, is not like a normal clock would be, but if you take a look at it, that and then the AAA are also me, but Cbop 9 was me. I don't know why I named it Cbop 9. But 443 for 103, which is pretty That's pretty gross. So I didn't even place in the top 5 in this case because I probably only got 60%. Let's see what I got. I'm curious because I didn't get any bonus barrels. I didn't do any bonus barrels, and I didn't get any DK coins. I literally passed it with the minimum amount. I kind of like the idea of doing a basic collab race, no tricks, just start playing the game as you normally play, then doing some tricks. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to do something. I mean, here's the thing. I know this may be a novel concept to some people nowadays. 43%. Not even 50. So I guess I want to say that's the minimum you can pass the game on, then is 43%. Yeah, here's my other ones. 650, 103. And don't let that fool you. It didn't take me 650 to pass it. I just, well, I'll go ahead and show some stuff. Can I show some stuff off? I'll show some stuff off if everybody's okay with it. I'm going to do it on the auto. That's how long I've played it. I don't think that's how long it took me to pass. That's just how long I played it. And like right now, it's going to count the clock up again. It's not going to stop my clock, even though I'm just doing the overworld. But what I was going to say, I know this sounds like a really weird concept because we're in this world, this odd gaming world of NDRs all the time, and even speed runs, speed racing. Even speed runs at some point. Like, I love speed runs, but at the same time, I think it'd be really cool just to do a collab where 2 people play a game together, and that could be either playing via virtual co-op, because we could, I mean, hypothetically, Thumb, Resvergem, anyone who wanted to play, as long as you have a Switch and you have the online plan, which is like $2.99 a month, or $20 a year, you could actually play this game with me in co-op mode via the Switch online. I think it'd be just fun to play a game with somebody out there and stream with somebody that's, you know, halfway across the nation or halfway across the world even. Let's see. I'm not doing any races through. I'm not doing any races though in July. I've got other stuff I want to do. I don't mind being a host in July or August. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That game time is 19th in speedrun.com. I'm sorry, Thumb. Which game time, bud? Which one's 19th? I'm just going to show off some Neo Retro games and the Hyperspin front end I built to host my ROMs and Steam. That'd be awesome. I'm excited to see that. I'd love to see that. That's super cool. Neo Retro. So are we talking about like Jump King, those types of games? Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, that kind of Neo Retro. If that's the case, that's a super cool idea. There's a lot of great Neo Retro right now. Like with this game, maybe just playing it normally without any fancy tricks or anything. Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the beautiful thing about Switch, which I really am actually liking, is they're taking these games that I love, and I actually enjoyed playing. I used to play this with my brother, and it's fun because you can play co-op, or even Versus is really fun, right? Your game time of DKC3? Oh, really? Wow. That's actually more respectable than I thought. Now, are we saying the game... I'm sorry, one more time for point of clarification. I'm so sorry. Are we talking about the rough estimate of game time that I passed just now, or are we talking about one that's showing... one of the times that showed up on the previous attempts? We're talking... I'm assuming we're talking about the 4-hour one that I showed on Cbop or whatever. That's pretty neat. Either way, that's super cool, actually. Let's see. But yeah, anyway, I think that's awesome. But what I was saying is it adds this co-op element. So in co-op, same as DKC was in the previous one, in versus mode, you have Pink and Blue Kitty and Dixie, and then in the other one you have, here, let me do this real quick, I'll show you. You guys know I've already made mention I'm playing it on a Wii. Sorry about that loud beep, guys. I'm going to reset it real quick and I'll show you. I'm also running out of battery on this controller, so if it goes dead, that's okay. I'll switch out. I have batteries right here anyway. I had batteries just in case. Yeah, I was going to stream some games I bought on the Steam Summer Sale tonight, but I'm going to push that off till tomorrow. I bought Battle Axe, Hunt Down, Foregone Freedom Planet. Oh, very nice. I like... Oh, current 19th place is 1 hour 26. Oh, fantastic. Wow, okay. All right, I appreciate that, by the way. That I'm sorry about the Uber clarification. Yeah, I know. That's so cool. That's so cool. I want to go back and I want to time it and see where mine came in, but top 20 is, even out of 26 people running it, to me is, I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that. Steam Summer Sale is sick. As for GOG. Yeah, GOG is, I really like GOG. Like I said, right now, if you haven't gotten it, GOG is giving away, I mean, they've been doing it, they gave one away earlier, but they are giving away, GOG is giving away free games, and right now it's Shadowrun Trilogy. I'll just show up some little things of this. This would be kind of fun, almost kind of like a marathon movie. So I'm at 103% here, and then in this case, it's the cheat codes. You do it this way: it's left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, and that it brings up your code. So this code I'm going to do 2. I did it in my other one. COLOR color. I'll do it again. I'm sorry. Whoops. Left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. Oops. Sorry. Let me get off it. Left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. And then we have another one, which is MERRY, and then one more, and that one is, and this one's cool. This is actually what got me. When I figured this out, I started just playing and putting words in that fit. I remember I was just like, all right, I bet you, because I found out color was one. And then I was like, I didn't have a cheat code. I didn't have like a Nintendo Power or anything like that. So I was just putting 5-letter words in, and music came in. And that's how you get the music test on it, which is really cool. And what it did is I was listening to all the music, which I really like all this music. But then I realized as I was going through it, I was realizing I didn't hear all of the music. So like there's a, for example, wait, hold on. Oh, it's named Wrinkly64. I didn't even notice that. That's funny. So for in-game menus, sound of these retro games, you put it in stereo or mono. For in-game menu sound of these retro games, you put it. It's so I get they're technically in mono. Oh, for in-game menu. Oh, I have to go back and look. It doesn't. It depends on where I'm coming from or how I have it hooked up. It doesn't really make a huge difference in most of these cases, because even if I do stereo on the in-game menu, when it goes through everything that you hear goes through my audio equipment, so it gets down mixed to mono. And the reason I do that is because when I'm using my microphones, if you do it in stereo, especially if I have a guest, if you go back and you take a look at some of my early videos, a good example of that would be like the Oregon Trail. And some of those that I'm on there with friends. Shadowgate, I think, is another one. I think I did that in mono. But if you actually go take a peek at some of those games, and please forgive, by the way, my guests are a little bit more raunchy than I am, and you'll notice that in those videos, so please forgive. If you are seeing those videos and they're not solo, please note that is intended for a more mature audience, or an audience that's okay with mature language and content and kind of inappropriate humor. I don't really kind of feed into it, but that's what their shtick is, and they're funny in that way. But anyway, point being is, if you do check those out at some point, just listen to a sample of it, especially me and my brother. With Demon's Crest, another one. You'll hear him in one ear cup and me in the other, if you're listening on headphones. And what happened is, everything that I was having was coming out in stereo, and then the left and right channels were splitting as they they normally would, but it was splitting him as channel right and mine as channel left. So I had to put everything down mixed to mono, and so even if I put it in stereo, I try to put it in stereo, so when I hear it like it's supposed to be, but everything gets down mixed to mono when it gets out. Sorry for the over explanation there. I was trying to be thorough, but I might have just been confusing. I'm sorry. So anyway, I noticed that some of the music, and if I got more confusing and I need to go back and fix that, I'm sorry. I'll try again. I'm so sorry. But I noticed that I was missing some of the music. So what I noticed I was missing is, firstly, Rocket Run. All of these other ones I'd heard. Rocket Run, however, is only on one stage, and I hadn't hit at that point. At the first time I was listening to this in the 90s, in the mid-late 90s, I realized I hadn't heard this track except for here, and so I thought maybe it was an in-game test, but I was like, no, it's a music test. They didn't just put a random one in here. So that's when I found out about the secret world. I started doing some digging, and of course, internet wasn't really a thing, so I had to figure that out. The next one was Jangle Bells. That was much harder to figure out because it's not actually a hidden level. It's a cheat code only, which I'll show off. And then the last one was Mama Bird. And she's also not a cheat code or a secret level. She's a completely different thing that's actually hard to find. So I'm going to show that off, though. I'll hit that button. I'm going to show it off real quick. We'll go back into Ah. Oh, I didn't look. I'm so sorry. Let me look. Let me look on my feedback real quick. If I'm on stereo or mono, there for you. Because I didn't pay attention when I did that. I'm sorry. So it'll take me just a second. So I was in stereo. I'm in stereo as it stands, but it is down mixed to mono when it's sent to you guys, so you can hear music in both ear cups. Because I know some people wear in-ear headphones. They only wear like one AirPod at a time because they're working, or one earbud. And so because of that, I wanted the audio to be nice and clear in both ears and not split up. But because my sound bar actually plays in stereo and sometimes they have it separated, I do it on the end game is in stereo. Okay, so you get the gyrocopter. This is I'm showing off some cool stuff. So the first thing is you get the gyrocopter. Oh, you probably also have noticed, if you can see here, Kitty and Dixie are wearing different color. That's what the color cheat does. And I usually use the color cheat. I wish I would have done it at the beginning, because they get purple and green, and purple's my favorite color, so it's not pink and blue anymore. It's purple and green. Gyrocopter is purchased through Funky for getting. You have to get all the DK coins. That's what he charges you, and then he builds you the gyrocopter. It flies around. What was really cool about the overworld here is, if you take a look, the gyrocopter, this whole time we've been going over here, we've been going through the water, but if you take a look, the gyrocopter actually takes you off the map, off the traditional map. So that's actually, there are secrets. I've already gotten them all in here because it's 103%. But you actually go off the map, and you would find these. So it was actually really fun, even after I'd passed the entire, the levels, just to go around and figure out where caves were. Find that cave, and there's a cave there, and then you come up here, and oh, well, you've never even been here, but there's a cave right there. So you just look at these little areas, and you tap the B button, and you sometimes just see something blow up and go, and you're like, oh, that's cool. There's a cave way up here, right there. It's so cool to find that. It's really, really neat. We'll go ahead and land. It's a cave. It'd be cool if there was a cave there. There's not any secret like there. But anyway, so that was really cool. This is that island, by the way, which is Krematoa. And so what you do is you drive in a counterclockwise circle around those 4 rocks that you saw earlier, and that'll come up. And this is what it looks like, obviously, when it's passed. Same rules apply, and this is did too. If you get all the bonus barrels, you get an exclamation point, and then if you got the DK coin, you get a little yellow flag over top of your passing flag. So yellow flag is DK coins, exclamation points, bonus coins. And then you have the secret boss fight right here, the Nautilus. And the Nautilus never has... the Nautilus never technically has an exclamation point, although he does. I think he does when you beat him the first time. He does give you a bonus coin for the gyrocopter. But yeah, that was the case. I found this little area here, which was super cool, and then over here is Rocket Rush, and Rocket Rush is where that rocket music is used, and you automatically get. That was another thing I had, because I had played this before I played DKC 2 back in the 90s. I played DKC, I didn't get to play DKC 1, and I didn't have DKC 2, so I played 3 first in terms of the DKC trilogy. And I saw Rocket Rush had the exclamation point already. I didn't realize that meant there were no bonus coins in this game, in this level. I just thought they were excited about that level. Because it's really hard and it's completely unique. You're in a rocket floating around. It's really unique. Also, every world has a shortcut from the farthest level to the entrance. I could have showed that off otherwise. I think I kind of did. When you pass the boss, you do it. And then lastly... no, not lastly. I've got two more things. So I showed you what the color cheat does. I showed you the gyrocopter. But if I land here, I'm going to go to the easiest level just so I can get the easiest thing. I put in the Mary cheat. The Mary cheat is completely aesthetic, and it's really cool. We'll go to we'll go to the first bonus here. It should just be right here. Also really innovative with the things you could do, like breaking the floor with Kitty and all that. LOL on the exclamation point. Yeah, I know, I was a doofus, but that's alright. So if you put Mary in, you get that. That's where you get the Jangle Bells music, and instead of collecting 50 stars, you collect 50 very 90s looking ornaments. I don't think ornaments really look like that anymore. I remember, I mean, I still have some from the 90s that look like that. So that's what Jangle Bells does. It changes those, and I think the other one's a collect 15 bananas. Bash the Baddies is the same. They're not. I wish they were wearing like little Santa hats or something, but they're not. And then there's one more bonus over here. There's a 2-up balloon over here for fun. There we go. Grab 15 bananas, become little presents. Little blue packages. See how cool is that? It's just kind of nice, like if you're playing during Christmas, which is about the time I usually will start playing this anyway, to have the little Mary cheat in. I wish I would have done it before, but I'm at least showing it off now. So if you're playing around Christmas and you want it to feel more Christmassy, as Christmassy as an island can feel, right there. And it even puts the ending victory theme in bells, which is pretty cool. Alright, but anyway, so there's that. Alright, and then the final thing, which is really cool, so I've now shown you the 3 elusive tracks, and I've now shown you where 2 of those tracks originate from now. But if you take the gyrocopter and you want the true ending of the game, you actually come over here, and there's these clouds, and you fly into the clouds. Can you believe that? Who would think that? And there's Mama Bird, and then she tells you to go to Wrinkly's save cave. And she says, go to Wrinkly's save cave, and Wrinkly's save cave. Wrinkly will tell you what it does. I'll just do that real quick while I'm talking to the chat. Is DK64 worth playing? If you've played it, I've heard it can be tedious. It can be a little tedious. So, one second here. I'm gonna do this real quick. Sorry. So yeah, it can be a little bit tedious. It depends. I actually had a lot of fun with it, and I remember back, I thought it was so cool, like the marketing they did for it, because in these you'd always been 2 Kongs, but they were marketing because you can be 5 Kongs, 5 different Kongs in 64, and they used to do that with like Lunchables and Go-Gurt, where you'd eat Go-Gurt, and then the behind the tube would show you one of the new Kongs and all that. It's actually pretty cool. But same situation, like it's a lot of fun. It can be a little bit tedious because of the switching mechanic, but and also some of the vines, getting some of the vines in the angles are a little BS in my opinion. Banjo-Kazooie is, so my opinion is DK64 is great. Banjo-Kazooie is a better DK64. But DK64 is worth playing I would say it's worth playing. Ever play the promo disc for Nights into Dreams? If you set your clock to December, you play a Christmas-themed level. I didn't know that. I have Nights into Dreams for Saturn, I believe. Does it apply to the actual game disc as well, or is it just for the demo? Or for the promo, rather, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. That's super cool, though. If I can get my hands on a promo, I'd love to see what that's like. What I really want to get a hold of, and it's not necessarily terribly expensive, it's just more money than I want to pay for the gimmick that it is the Sega Saturn 3D controller, where they added the thumbstick on it. It just feels like that would absolutely flow better for Nights into Dreams. Just the nature of that game, you know? But I could be completely wrong. It may just be garbage, the playing of it, but anyway. But yeah, no, I like that. Honestly, I would love to play. I played a Dreamcast game, so I did a test stream when I had to switch to OBS. Now, of course, I'm back on, like I said, Streamlabs, which I'm super happy about because I really prefer Streamlabs. But I was on OBS for a little bit, and I had to do that first stream I did. I did a test stream, and I played Dreamcast on it. I was like, I'm really having fun. It was a fighter, obviously, Marvel vs. Capcom. No, it wasn't. It was X-Men vs. Street Fighter that I played. No, it was Marvel vs. Capcom. Sorry. I have X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but I only have it on PS1. And I realized that I was having fun, a lot of fun playing Dreamcast and Sega Saturn and all that kind of stuff, so I actually really want to, I'd love to play some more on those. One thing I'm a little bit not keen on, and I think I have the equipment to switch it here, I'm not keen on it right now, is for whatever reason, the upscaler that I have for my retro stretches the aspect ratio into 16:9, and while that doesn't bother me necessarily, it's not very pleasant, I guess, for viewers. So like I played Castlevania Bloodlines on it through my actual hardware, my actual CDX, and it stretched it to a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is a little uncomfortable. But I think I have equipment that I'll tinker with probably tomorrow morning or later tonight that will hopefully remedy that. I believe there's a special event for the promo disc. The 3D controller came bundled with some Nights into Dreams game. Ah, son of a gun. So yeah, I picked up Nights into Dreams separate from that. I would love to have the 3D controller just for Nights into Dreams. Just because that game does have flow, and that flow definitely works better with a... I think I have 2 first-party Saturn controllers, and I have one actually decently good third-party controller that has like metal shoulder buttons, and they're actual metal shoulder buttons. It's really, they like attract a magnet. I have no idea who put metal shoulder buttons on it, but they feel good. They actually feel really nice and responsive. Yeah, I would have fun with that. So anyway, if you guys were also watching this at the same time, this is technically quote-unquote the true ending, or the correct ending, and this is if you pass the 103% portion. Of course, I passed it earlier, so I'm able to access the ending on a whim. I know it's kind of a spoiler alert for a 20-some-odd-year-old game. 24? 25? But yeah, so Cbop 9, 103%, 443. I could probably do better. I can get that time down a little bit, but it was fun anyway. And then, like I said, if you get 105%, you even get Top Banana is a good score, but there is one better, and that's for doing. You get that for passing at 105%. Other than that, takes you right back to the beginning. So that's the end, both the classic and the 103% ending, and you guys got to see me do that in about an hour and a half. So yeah, anyway, I guess what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna go ahead and let's get some music on here. And let's move this over, if that's okay, to this screen. Not like that. How's that? I think that's okay. Can you hear it? I hope it's okay for you guys. Alright, so what I do want to say, I've said it multiple times through here, and it has not diminished in importance. In fact, I would argue it's become more important for me to make sure that I'm saying it, because I want you guys to understand, I mean it. Thank you so very much for everybody who's come into the stream, who's participated, who's talked and kept me company. Special thank you to the Thumb Brothers and Resvergam. Pretty music is fine too. Thank you. Yeah, this is my, I like this. I like the pixel aesthetic, but I really like smooth, kind of lo-fi stuff, and so I wanted to find a way to kind of marry those together. And so I've bought a fair amount of lo-fi music, and then I've gotten a whole bunch of copyright-free music that was given as free copyright music that was in the same vein, and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm glad you enjoy it too. That's kind of my, I don't want to say it's my aesthetic. It's anybody who wants it, but it's the vibe that I enjoy, and I hope it's welcoming to you guys as well. But yeah, I want to say thank you very much for you guys popping in and saying a hi and having fun with me, keeping me company, being very supportive, giving me the GGs, the good luck, and all of that good stuff. I'm really, really flattered that you guys came in to do that, and we're so great about it. And it's really fantastic to get to talk to friends who are so supportive. So thank you so very much for that. Another thank you also to anybody who dropped in the stream prior. Of course, I don't want that to be lost. So for Yugoslav Video Game Nerd, for Victory Leo, who was here earlier, Arcus Unofficial, who was here earlier. Excuse me, Video Games for Fun, Viddy, it's always fun to see you. Brady, also thank you so much for stopping in and just saying hi. That was awesome to get to hear from you. So Josh X05 I think was in here as well. I think he kind of drifted through, and I really appreciate it. So many really great people that dropped in and said hi. I don't want any of them to be forgotten either. So thank you all so much for doing that. And Thumb says, great stream, have a good one. Hey, thanks so much. But yeah, what I will do is I'll let you guys have a great evening. I know it's getting late for you, Thumb. For sure, Restrogame, I'm not sure how late it is for you, but I don't want to keep you up beyond, beyond comfort. So I hope you guys have a great evening, great night, and we'll hopefully get to see you guys at the event this Sunday. You guys take care.